Pokémon. Starting with Greninja. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 151. Brave Kirby, not afraid of difficulties. Seeing the King of Leaf tricking the Circle Bear into beating himself to death, Zumu was completely dumbfounded. Is this the legendary, I kill myself? At this moment, Zumu felt that this King of Leaf, his characteristic might be a strong man, but this king has another hidden characteristic, that is, a big liar. Damn, this is a wise man. He looks honest and simple, and I am easy to deceive, and goes out to cheat. Is this still an elf? In comparison, Zumu looked at the equally stunned Dragonite on the side. Learn something. This is called a real scholar, who wins without fighting. Dragonite who can read is not the most terrifying. After all, this fool fights by running away plus reverse scale, and goes into berserk mode if he disagrees with something. However, the King of Leaf, who obviously knows how to fight, doesn't fight, but deceives people, really makes Zumu feel a chill. Good guy. It's worthy of being produced by the system. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the Leaf King sign-in mission. 2. Bring or use the Leaf King to participate in a battle of the Heavenly King level. Get the reward of 8-9 mysterious arts. With a sigh in his heart, Zumu said to the Leaf King, "You did a good job, and you will have an extra meal in the evening." This was said unintentionally, but the listener took it seriously. Snorlax, who was standing by, was excited when he heard Zumu say that he could have an extra meal in the evening if he won. Similarly, Arceus took the initiative to step forward and hold Zumu's trouser leg. How about I go up and fight too? I think this big bear seems to have some energy left to fight with me. Zumu was speechless, and held Arceus' head and ravaged it, rubbing the sheep's head angrily. Get out of my way, you will never be able to eat enough. Using an energy block to send Arceus aside, Zumu stood up. Snorlax, get ready for battle. Snorlax was not lazy anymore. Just kidding, the Leaf King will have delicious food if he wins, so what's wrong with me? Snorlax, brave Kirby, I am not afraid of difficulties. Kirby, bad. I planted this tree, I opened this road. Big Bear on the opposite side, give me your life. Snorlax roared and stood in front of the Tundra Bear with another slogan that he didn't know where he learned from. To be honest, at this moment, the Tundra Bear was panicking. Nonsense, how could he not panic? His two big brothers were directly killed by the two elves of this human. The villain Panda was okay, at least he was defeated head-on. There was nothing to say. But look at the Circle Bear, it's really miserable. He was fooled and beat himself unconscious. Blood spilled in the sky. Tulu. After sucking his big snot, the Tundra Bear said, I admit defeat. Okay. Seeing him so cowardly, Snorlax was not happy at the time. What's the matter? I won't fight you when it's my turn. Do you look down on me? Kirby, you can't surrender. Get up for me. Stand up. As he said, Snorlax took the initiative to step forward, stood in front of the Tundra Bear and roared, hit me, hit me. The Tundra Bear was also confused. Can I fight? If I fight, what if I get retaliated? If I don't fight, I can't bear it if I don't satisfy his cheap request. After hesitating for a while, the Tundra Bear decided to take action. The worst that can happen is death. This is the first time I've heard of such a cheap request. Come on. With a roar, the Tundra Bear hit Snorlax's belly with a freezing punch. Snorlax's belly is the easiest place to perform Tai-Chi martial arts. However, because he was too arrogant just now and shouted that sentence to the Tundra Bear, Snorlax failed to hold his breath and concentrate in the first time, and missed the best time to use Tai-Chi. Bang! When the Tundra Bear's punch hit Snorlax's belly, Snorlax's first reaction was cold. Then, it hurts. Snorlax, Zumu, it hurts. Zumu slapped his forehead and was too ashamed to watch it anymore. What the hell is going on? You asked yourself to be beaten, and you were beaten, and you still cried in pain. Why don't you cry? Snorlax, use rolling to distance yourself. Tundra's freezing punch won't do that much damage to you. Just take a nap later. After all, he is a trainer, and Zumu can't just watch Snorlax, a fat guy, get beaten like this, he still has to take care of it. After you distance yourself, follow the old rules and sleep with your belly bulging. This combo is the most skillful combo between Zumu and Snorlax, because Snorlax has a special talent, that is, he can skillfully control his sleep talk in his sleep. His sleep talk skills can choose the skills he wants to use. Therefore, this move is equivalent to a useless trick for other Pokémon. But for Snorlax, it is a magical skill. Snorlax, he sleeps as soon as he says he will. When it comes to sleeping, Snorlax has never been defeated by anyone. He yawns and closes his eyes directly. Snorlax falls into a deep sleep and slowly recovers his strength. Tundra next to him thinks that the opportunity has come. This Snorlax is really a good Pokémon. Not only does he come to my door to let me fight, but he also takes the initiative to sleep for me to fight. This is the first time I have encountered such a good punching bag. With a loud roar, the Tundra sniffed its nose and rushed forward to attack without saying a word. Snorlax, Megaton Punch. Seeing the opportunity, Zumu was also merciless. I didn't pay attention just now, so I asked you to hit Snorlax once. That's enough. You still have no face. You want to continue to hit my Snorlax? You are used to your temper? Snorlax heard the command, and suddenly stood up in his sleep, and then his right fist glowed, and Megaton Punch swung out violently. The Tundra didn't have time to react, and was hit in the face by Snorlax on the spot. Crack! It seemed like the sound of a broken nose. The Tundra was dumbfounded, covering his nose and lying on the ground in a daze. I can't get up. I won't get up no matter what. Just say surrender. But you have to force me to fight. I won't fight. The Tundra wanted to play dead, but Charizard didn't agree. Roar! Snorlax, give the opponent a fatal blow. Mount-Tai is pressing down on him. Sit on him to death. Suddenly jumped out, played the role of a trainer, and Charizard gave the order. Snorlax was sleeping, and was so dazed that he didn't understand it very well. He acted immediately after hearing the command. Mount-Tai is pressing down on the top. Boom! Snorlax jumped high, and then suddenly fell down. With a move of Mount-Tai pressing down on the top, the Tundra bear, who was lying on the ground pretending to be dead, was completely covered and pressed to death. So far, the three bears in the valley were completely treated as roadside elves by Zumu, and a wave of experience points were gained. The King of Leaves also completed his first battle of his debut and obtained the 8-9 mysterious skills. Judging from the situation, Zumu thought that the system wanted to train the King of Leaves as Sun Wukong. Snorlax, I did a good job. Have a dinner party, Zumu. Snorlax woke up and saw that the Tundra bear was already under his butt, so he stood up and said happily, you still praise yourself for doing a good job. Chapter 152, The Ultimatana and Gigantamax. It is said that no matter how big or small the secret realm is, as long as Zumu is there, it will not be good. If you don't believe me, look, Zumu has just finished tossing the three bears in the valley and is about to start special training with Zuhong on someone else's territory. As a result, there was a loud bang in the sky, and a purple beam of light suddenly descended. Ding! The host encountered a special event. Due to the leakage of Dynamax energy, the sudden arrival of the Infinitana caused the night phenomenon to occur. All the elves in the entire valley fell into the Dynamax state. The Infinitana entered the Dynamax state. Special mission triggered. Please defeat the Infinitana. Reward: Dynamax wristband, and Dragonite. Leave King, Snorlax, and obtain their corresponding Dynamax states respectively. Zumu was shocked. This Dynamax finally appeared? Is the world about to start the rhythm of destruction? Let's not talk about Zumu first. This guy has a strong psychological endurance. Zuhong looked at the sky. The purple energy poured and raged, and the wild elves in the valley became huge one after another, which was extremely weird. And in the center of the purple light column, there was a giant purple dragon. This dragon was like a bone dragon, without flesh and blood, and it swam in the light column like a machine. Zumu, what happened? Zumu saw Zuhong subconsciously holding his arm and asking him. He quickly said, nothing, just a new energy is about to appear. With a slight smile, Zumu explained, in addition to Mega Evolution, there is another way for elves to exceed the potential limit of their race value, that is, Dynamax. It's this purple energy in the air. After the elves absorb it, they will increase their strength in proportion, and will have Dynamax skills. It's not a big problem, everything is the work of that guy in the sky, let me deal with him. To be honest, Zumu was not sure. The Dynamaxed Everlasting may have reached a level above the Supreme. Simply put, he may be stronger than Lugia and Dark Lugia. Even if Zumu used all of his remaining 4 experience cards, he might not be able to pose any threat to this Everlasting. However, he is a man. At this moment, Zhu Hong's power can no longer be of much help, and she can only rely on herself to get out of the crisis. Zhu Hong can only rely on herself. Why does this thing appear here? Zhu Hong was a little puzzled after listening to Zumu's words. Zumu was helpless. Who knows this? You ask me, who should I ask? It's because of you? It's okay, Aunt, you help me keep an eye on the Pokémon around. Don't let these guys disturb me. Bulbasaur, Snorlax, Dragonite, and King of Leaf. The 4 of you temporarily follow the command of Ant and stop the nearby wild Pokémon from attacking me. Greninja, Charizard Mega Evolution, Lugia, you have to join the battle this time too. After saying that, Zumu didn't care whether Zhu Hong was around or not, and said to the system directly in his mind, give them 3 experience cards. Then, Zumu put Arceus back into the Pokeball. Look up at the purple light column in the distance. Infinite, come on, let's fight. In fact, in the final analysis, Zumu is born to be a trainer. When encountering a strong opponent, Zumu will never be afraid, and there is only excitement. Isn't it a powerful beast above the Supreme? What is there to be afraid of? Since you dare to come, I dare to compete with you. What if I can't beat you? How do you know that you can't beat it if you don't fight? Greninja, don't use the Shadow Clone technique this time. Save your energy, and motivate yourself to strengthen yourself. Charizard, you too. Dragon Dance Arrangement. Lugia, you play the main force, use Air Blast after meditation, and buy time for them to strengthen. Zumu is not a rookie, and he has also experienced this level of battle. At this time, as a trainer, the most important thing for him is to stay calm, and then command the Pokémon to fight in an orderly manner. It is not impossible to defeat the strong with the weak. Lugia was born not long ago, and it was obviously a little difficult to control when he first came into contact with the power of the peak of the Master. Especially after a short meditation, his strength was even increased to the point where he could not control it himself. With an air blast, Lugia almost hurt himself. Boom! In the beam of light, the Ultra Energy released the Ultra Giant Energy wantonly, and felt the hostility from afar. He immediately counterattacked, and before the air blast touched him, he smashed the air blast to pieces with an Ultra Energy beam. Lugia, move at high speed to avoid it. Zumu shouted hurriedly, and seeing that Lugia had almost no strength to confront Ultra Energy, he gritted his teeth and said, Charizard, it's enough. You and Lugia come together. This guy is really strong. As a mythical beast, he can also Gigantamax, which is no different from the original Kyogre and Rayquaza. Not to mention that Lugia can't control the peak power of the leader freely now. Even the original Dark Lugia would probably not be able to beat this guy. Greninja is still constantly motivating himself. Charizard and Lugia help him block Ultra Energy, and he sees everything. Snorlax, excuse me, stop the walking grass over there. Big King Swallow, stop the Pidgeot over there. Oh my god, such a big Geodude. Gyarados, come on, water cannon. Zhu Hong also tried his best on the other side. Even if these Dynamaxed Pokémon were only in their initial forms that had not yet fully evolved, they were powerful because of the blessing of Dynamax energy. Coupled with the huge number of Pokémon in this valley, Zhu Hong's Pokémon were fighting 1 against 10. Damn it, when Charizard was knocked away by Wujity's Dragon Wave and had no more fighting power, Zumu gritted his teeth and roared. What kind of monster is this? The attack on his body was completely painless. Instead, a casual attack could seriously injure Zumu's Pokémon. I can't afford to play with it. This is cheating. That's right, cheating. System! Zumu suddenly had an idea and shouted, Dog System, come out to work. If you don't come out, the host will be killed by Wujity. Ding! The host can't die, and there is still a Headmaster's Peak experience card that has not been used. Zumu smiled. Wow, The dog system is really steady in its calculations. Well, in this case, let's fight with all our strength. Greninja, is that enough? Don't be polite. Use all your physical strength to attack the infinite Tana. Shadow Clone Technique. Super Large Jade Spiral Water Shuriken. Hit him as many times as you can. Physical strength is not important. Just hit him. When the attack is strengthened to the extreme, coupled with the super skill developed by combining the Water Shuriken and the Rasengan of Greninja, Zumu believes that no matter how strong this infinite Tana is, he will be hurt this time. Chapter 153 Alpaca. Display. Greninja is obedient. Zumu wants him to attack regardless of the consequences and physical strength. Zumu must have a reason. Charizard and Lugia both risked their lives to buy themselves time to strengthen. If they attack with all their strength this time and don't leave anything for the everlasting, then Greninja is too shameless. Cool. Is it me, Fat Tiger, who can't hold the knife anymore? Or is it you, Sunio, who is too proud? It's so hot, and I haven't even smiled yet, and you're already arguing with me? Watch this. This time, he didn't shout out his signature slogan, but instead used social quotations to start the show, and a set of small jokes confused the everlasting. Talk is talk, and arguing is arguing. Don't joke with your frog master. Greninja brought dozens of shadow clones and directly used his ultimate move. The overwhelming super large Jade Water Spiral Shuriken bombarded the everlasting. What is that? Where did you come from, Blue Frog? How dare you hit me? Mujutana felt pain. The attack of this extremely strengthened Greninja was indeed a little painful, but it was only a little painful. In the face of absolute strength, Greninja could only do so much. No, in addition to making Mujutana feel a little pain, Greninja could also make him feel very uncomfortable. Cool, you are a frog. Your whole family is frogs. Asshole, I can't kill you. I disgust you to death, Greninja said, and roared, using Foam Mousse, grabbing a handful and throwing it at Mujutana. Cool, do you know what this is? This is called Foam Mousse. It's my saliva. You can also understand it as spit. I'm spitting on you, spitting all over the sky. You can't hide. As he said that, Greninja became even more aggressive and created dozens of shadow clones. Surrounding the huge Wujitai, they used bubble beams, water guns, and skills like Foam Mousse that had almost no attack power, and tried their best to greet it. This is called saliva. This is my gastric juice, and this, the chimes on it, are my breakfast. The shamelessness of Greninja made Zumu amazed. This is still an elf, but it is so shameless and shameless. It is absolutely not an exaggeration to say that he is a gangster. However, who said that this gangster elf is his own? No matter how gangster it is, Zumu likes it. Well done, Greninja. Spray him, spit on him. We can't kill him. We disgust him to death. Zumu jumped excitedly, shouting to cheer for Greninja, and he wanted to go up and spit on the saliva man himself, so that Wujitai would know that he should not jump out to cause trouble casually. In fact, Wujitai was quite wronged. What are you doing? I just came out to let off some steam. How did I become a big villain? He hit me just because we don't agree with each other. If he can't beat me, he will disgust me to death. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you want to let the elves live? This world outside is full of messed up people. You are too much. I am angry. You are all going to die. After being upset by Greninja, Wujitana was anxious. If he is anxious, it will be easy to deal with. Zumu slowly smiled. Greninja, come back. The next battle will be left to Arceus. As he said, Zumu released Arceus, who had been put into the Pokeball to rest at the beginning. Arceus, this guy may be a mythical beast, but you are also a god king. Although you are still young, you are also a god king. Although, Arceus looked at Zumu blankly. What is a god king? Is it delicious? Zumu shut himself up on the spot. Is this the god king? He wants to eat it just because he doesn't agree with it? Forget it. Forget it. My own Pokémon, no matter how excessive it is, I, Zumu, will like it. No, 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 the God King cannot eat, but if you can be that big guy, I promise that after leaving the secret realm, I will let you eat your fill once. Zumu's words were very useful, and Arceus' eyes lit up, like the last time with the big eater. Zumu, I haven't eaten my fill for a long time. You can't break your promise this time, big guy. Here I come. With the Jade Bug Slate and the Poison Slate, Arceus was ready to charge. Zumu deliberately left one of his previous sign-in tasks unfinished. Well, it wasn't intentional. It was just that there was no chance to complete it, and there was no need for Arceus to take the risk of fighting against the king-level elves. Today, it just so happened that Wujitai's strength above the Supreme had met the task requirements. Go, Arceus, use collision. Zumu's words almost made Zuhong, who was fighting a wild elf on the side, fall down. What? You've hidden your trump card for so long, and you go up and use collision? Is it funny? Otherwise, why don't we just not live anymore and stay in this secret realm? Zumu did not use the last experience card of the peak leader for Arceus, so Arceus rushed forward, and was slapped back by Wujitai's tail. He fainted on the ground. Koga Ninja, cool, what's going on? Charizard, Roar, what? Lugia, I died unjustly, this guy is unreliable. The three elves who had just fought with Wujitai were all speechless, while Zumu's expression did not change. Everything was within his expectations. Dog system, arrange it. It's your turn to perform. Ding. Got it? Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the Arceus sign-in task 2. Carry or use Arceus to participate in a battle in Meteor Falls. Reward a random stone slab. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Dragon Slab. Ding. Arceus has successfully merged with the Dragon Slab, and his immunity to dragon attribute attacks has been greatly improved. After the system finished speaking, Zumu smiled. That's it. System, use the healing potion on Arceus, then use the Master Peak experience card. Today, I'm going to use collision to kill the gods. The system arranged it directly, and Arceus, who fainted on the ground, directly merged the Dragon Slate, and then used the healing potion to restore all his physical strength. Finally, a Master Peak experience card. The moment Arceus stood up from the ground, he was no longer the Arceus he used to be. He is now called 1/6 Alpaca. Zumu smiled. That's right, there is always a way out. The dog system can watch me fight to the death so steadily, which means that I have a way to turn the tables. When Arceus, who has merged the Toxic Slate and the Dragon Slate, fights against this Poison type and Dragon type Wujitai, isn't it a hammer? Come on, Arceus, show up directly. Use collision, just collision. No need for any skills such as punishment gravel. Today, I'll take you to crash a Wujitai to death. Chapter 154, Wujitaina was hit and ran away. Seeing that the little guy who was just swept away by his tail was about to attack him, Wujitaina snorted disdainfully, preparing to use more force this time to slap the little guy to death. He swung out his big tail, and with a bang, in an instant, Wujitaina felt a pain in his tail. It hurt a little, as if something had hit him, just like stepping on a nail when walking. It didn't hurt much, but it was heartbreaking. Looking down, Wujitaina was surprised to find that Arceus, the tenacious little guy, was not slapped away. Not only that, he stood firmly in place, ready for a second impact. Impossible. Wujitaina was a little confused, and chose to use the Dragon Claw to crush the little guy to death. Then, as 1/6 Alpaca, Arceus's inherent immunity directly ignored Wujitaina's attack this time, and the impact hit again. With a cry of pain, Wujitaina was stunned. It's unreasonable. Under normal circumstances, this little guy should have been crushed to death by himself. How can he still attack me vigorously? Arceus, well done. Just like that, keep using the collision. Zumu shouted proudly. One thing conquers another. After Arceus got these 2 stone tablets, he completely beat the poisonous dragon Wujitai, and he beat it without any temper. If it were other elves, even if the attributes were restrained, this would not happen. But what is Arceus? He is an alpaca, a divine beast. The rules are set by others. If you say you are immune, you are immune. Do you have a temper? I don't believe it. After Wujitai was hit twice in a row, he finally got angry. A mouthful of dragon waves sprayed out, directly hitting the defenseless Arceus. Then, it was invalid. Bang. Fight back. Collision. Another cry of pain. Wujitai didn't believe it, and used another venom shock. Invalid. Bang. Keep on. Collision. Arceus has found the rhythm of collision, and began to attack Wujitai non-stop, and even more and more electricity. The destruction ray. Wujitana was not a fool. Since he had tried the dragon and poison attacks and they didn't work, he would try the ordinary ones. But sorry, there is no stone tablet for the ordinary ones, and Arceus himself is an ordinary one. The result is obvious. When the destruction ray was ineffective, Arceus continued to hit. Wujitana collapsed directly. There is no fun anymore. Where did this monster come from? Is it cheating? He now feels exactly the same as Zumu before. Uncomfortable. Mushroom. Haha. That's it? Above the Supreme, Wujigigantamax? Zumu also pretended, with the certainty of victory. It would be a waste if he didn't pretend. Arceus, don't be polite, just hit him. Hit him hard. Hit him so hard that his aorta bleeds. Zumu said loudly, completely disregarding Wujitana's face. It's just a divine beast, it's not like he hasn't seen it before. Why do you want face? Don't give it. Arceus also obeyed, thinking of the big meal that will be full soon. It's like chicken blood. Go, go, go. The constant collision made Wujitana cry out in pain. If you think wrongly, go to face the wall yourself. I am too weak to say more. No skills have any effect, and he has to endure this kind of heart-piercing but non-fatal collision. It's okay once or twice. After a long time, Wujitana collapsed. What the hell? Can't I just retreat? Whoever wants to suffer this grievance can bear it. I, Wujitana, will not play with you anymore. Wujitana, who was hit and autistic, couldn't stand it and prepared to run away. He released the destructive death light again, and seeing that Arceus still had no damage, Wujitana decided to retreat. Don't fight anymore. What's the point of fighting? It's just playing tricks. That guy wants to run away. Leave him. The sharp-eyed Charizard saw through Wujitana's intention at a glance, roared, and rose directly from the ground. While the experience card has not expired, Charizard sprayed out with an evil flame dragon. The same thing happened to Greninja beside him. The heart of the ocean had enabled him to control the water attribute with ease. Otherwise, he would not have been able to successfully combine the Rasengan and Water Shuriken. The two big dogs threw out a Water Rasen Shurikens directly. It was obvious that they were not going to let go of the Infinite Tana. What's wrong with the Divine Beast? We haven't started to torture it yet, and you want to run away? You are so beautiful. Our slogan is, torturing the Divine Beast starts with me. Not letting go of any Divine Beast is our excellent quality as Xumu elves. Arceus also realized it later, seeing that Greninja and Charizard had intercepted. He was not idle either. Continued, collision. Infinite Tana was about to cry. You can't beat him, but you still don't let him run away. Are you done yet? In a rage, Infinite Tana set his target on Xumu, and used the Dragon Star group directly, pointing directly at all living things on the ground, including Xumu. However, what he didn't expect was that Arceus was also a spirit with super speed. This skill is not only known by Dragonite and Entei, but also by Arcanine. Arceus can do it too. Rushing to the front of Everlasting with a lightning speed, Arceus directly blocked the Dragon Star Cluster with his body. The Dragon Star Cluster, which did not even form a meteor, died in the womb. Everlasting also lost this chance to escape and continued to endure the torture of being hit by Arceus. If you take back all the Dynamax energy, I can let you leave, but you have to promise to stay in your own world and not come to make trouble again. Although it was just for fun, Xumu still did not have the intention to kill Everlasting. As for conquering, don't dream about it. What good would it be for Xumu to conquer such a guy who is above the Supreme? If he doesn't obey, will he bite his master at any time? He is just idle. Okay, I will take back the Dynamax energy now. Everlasting was really scared and agreed to take back the energy on the spot. As for the second condition mentioned by Xumu, Everlasting said that it was not a big deal. He will never come to such a place again in his life. At the same time, he has to tell everyone he knows that those space cracks should not be entered without seeing them. In the world outside the cracks, there is a terrifying human. He brought a red lizard, a blue frog, a Lugia, and an alpaca. He guarded outside the cracks and tortured these divine beasts who crossed the border. His methods were extremely cruel, inhumane, and inhumane. It was too scary. The world outside was too scary. Wu Jitana swore that he would never come here again in his life. In the future, I will stay at home obediently. I will never go out. If I go out again, it will be Suicune Dog's fault. After Wu Jitana took back all the Dynamax energy, Zumu slowly let out a breath. Everything is over. This secret realm has been protected and has not been destroyed. It's great. Chapter 155. The King's Challenge is about to begin. Time flies. After Zumu and Zuhong practiced in the secret realm for nearly a month, they left the secret realm and entered the training hall. Under Zuhong's guidance, each elf was trained specially. In this way, time passed unknowingly, and soon, the King Challenge was about to begin. After so much training, the strength of Zumu's elves has almost improved. Even those who have not improved have gained insights in combat and consciousness. In short, all efforts are valuable. At present, the strength of Zumu's elves is as follows. This is not a waste of words. Please watch carefully, because it will be used in the next competition. This is the key point and will be tested. Exclamation mark. Sprite, Greninja. Attributes: Water, Evil, Strength, Late King, Mid-Master. After transformation. Features: Change freely. Every time you use a move, your attribute becomes the same as the move's attribute. Skills: Rasengan, Shadow Clone Technique, Substitution Technique, Water Shuriken, Sneak Attack, Water Wave, Water Cannon, Shadow Clone. Sign-in task: carry or use Greninja to win once in the World King Tournament. Sharingan: Greninja has been Zumu's sprite for 3 months. In these 3 months, with the help of the system and a lot of battles, it is not surprising that his strength has increased by 2 stages. In fact, more often than not, Greninja is familiar with ninjutsu and the control of water energy. Otherwise, he could have reached the peak strength of the king long ago. Elf, Charizard. Attribute: Fire, Dragon, Strength, Late Heavenly King, Early Master. After transformation. Feature: Sun Power. Attack power increases in sunny weather. Skills: Reverse Scale, Dragon Star Cluster, Dragon Wave, Dragon Tail, Overheat, Big Word Explosion, Jet Flame, Sun Flame, Tile Splitting, Iron Tail. Primal Power. Sign-in task: carry or use Charizard to win once in the World Heavenly King competition. Fire Dragon Bloodline upgrade. There is no need to say much about Charizard. This guy is just a wretched development, and his strength improves quite fast. He looks like he is scared to death, but in fact, during training, he is the most desperate guy to fight. More sweat in training, less blood in battle. This is Charizard's training slogan. Elf, Arceus. Attribute: Ordinary, Strength, Mid-Heavenly King. Features: Multiple attributes. Arceus can use stone tablets to change into any attribute. Skills: All skills. Sign-in task: carry or use Arceus to win once in the King of Heaven Challenge. 3 random slates. Fusion, Jade Worm Slate, Dragon Slate, Toxic Slate. Needless to say, Arceus, this guy is fortunately unknown to the humans in this world. Otherwise, Zumu would not dare to swagger out with him. Look, just Lugia. Zumu has caused the Owl organization to not even care about his life, and to catch Zumu. If they knew that Arceus was an alpaca, I'm afraid Zumu really couldn't survive. Elf, Lugia. Attributes: Psychic, Flying, Strength, Mid-King of Heaven. Features: Multiple scales. When the physical strength is full, the attack damage received is reduced to half of the original. Skills: Air Blast, Predict the Future, Divine Bird Rush, Water Cannon. Sign-in task: carry or use Lugia to participate in a King of Heaven Challenge. Spiritual Power Awakening. Once, Lugia is considered to be one of the ones that the system takes less care of. To be honest, according to the system's host training plan, Arceus and Lugia are mythical beasts that Zumu may encounter in 3 to 5 years, and he may not be able to subdue them. But because of various coincidences, Zumu has now encountered and subdued these 2 guys. So, in fact, the system is also difficult. The previous telekinetic crystals and light water floating seem to have little effect on Lugia. In fact, they have little effect. The main reason is that the system is also difficult, and he doesn't know what to reward. The system has only been upgraded once, and it didn't expect Zoomu to be able to subdue the mythical beast. Alas, the host is too good, and the system can't bear it. Lugia is now the same as Arceus. After the initial period, he can start to fight gradually, and his body has officially begun to develop rapidly. In the past 2 months, Lugia's body has grown 3 times larger. It's true that Kun is so big that a barbecue grill can't fit it. Now he can no longer rely on Zoomu all the time and hang like a doll. Pokémon, Dragonite, Attributes, Dragon, Flying, Strength, Mid-Stage King, Early Stage Master after Gigantamax. Features, Multiple Scales. When full of stamina, the damage received is reduced to half of the original. Skills, Storm, Reverse Scale, Dragon Dance, Lightning Fist, Flame Fist, Freezing Ray, 100,000 volts, Super Speed. Sign-in mission completed. Bring or use Dragonite to participate in a battle at Fengcheng No. 1 Middle School. Dragon Bloodline Awakening. 2. Bring or use Dragonite to participate in a King Challenge. Max level magical power, Dharma Realm. 3. Bring or use Dragonite to participate in a World King Tournament. Max level magical power, words turn into gold. Dragonite is similar here, the system doesn't help that much. To be honest, Zoomu sometimes feels that if there was no system, how different would he be from now? It seems that there wouldn't be much difference, right? It's just a little weaker, but at least he's a rookie trainer with king strength, so he should be able to bully weaklings. Wait, bully weaklings? Who bullied the weak? I, Zoomu, will not bully the weak, okay? Pokémon, Snorlax, Attribute, Normal, Strength, Pseudo Kingpeak, Kingpeak after Dynamax. Features, Thick Fat, immune to some damage when attacked by fire and ice skills. Skills, Wave Missile, Collision, Shaking Fingers. Sign-in task, Sign-in task, carry or use Snorlax to win a game in the Akatsuki Gym battle. Ninjutsu, Multiplication Technique. Compared to Dragonite and Leaf King, Snorlax should have gained the most in the previous Infinite Tana incident. He is different from Dragonite and Leaf King. Snorlax, who already has a Dynamax form, gets the biggest improvement when using the Dynamax transformation. The degree of this improvement even exceeds the Bond transformation of Greninja. Just compare it and you will understand. After all, in the official original work, the image of Snorlax with a tree growing on his belly after Dynamax is really too classic. Compared with the improvement in strength, Zoomu actually hopes to take time to go to Akatsuki, fight a gym battle and complete Snorlax's check-in mission. The multiplication technique, I'm looking forward to it just thinking about it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156, The Gym Trainer is Terrified. Pokémon, Bulbasaur, Attribute, Grass, Strength, Early Stage of Quasi-King. Feature, Chlorophyll, Sunny Field, Double Speed. Skills, Chlorophyll Storm, Hardened Plants, Sunlight Blaze, Billion Absorption, Grass Oath. Sign-in mission completed. Carry or use Bulbasaur to participate in a battle in Guangcheng. Bulbasaur Mega Evolution Stone. 2. Carry or use Bulbasaur to participate in a king-level battle. Would release Bloodline Limit. Completed. Carry or use Bulbasaur to participate in a battle in the Northern 5 Provinces Rookie King League. Feature, immune to all poisons. Compared to other Pokémon, Bulbasaur's strength has not improved at all. It's just that his potential has been tapped to a greater extent, and his skill mastery and proficiency have been maximized. The next step is that as long as he completes the evolution step by step, he will basically be able to take off. Finally, there is the King of Leave in Zoomu's team. As the King of Leave, Zoomu has always suspected that the Sky's Strongman feature may be a cover. His real feature should be Big Liar. The effect is that when you trick a Pokémon, the success rate doubles. This guy treats all Pokémons equally, except for the Pokémons in Zoomu's team. Among Zhu Hong's 6 main Pokémons, Blaziken was the worst fooled by the King of Leave. During the special training period, After more than a month of contact, Blaziken almost knelt down and became the apprentice of the King of Leaf. Pokémon, King of Leaf, Attributes, Ordinary, Strength, Early Heavenly King, Features, Strongman, Skills, Claw of Collapse, Arm Punch, Punishment, Sleep, Longing, Double Return, Gradually Breaking, Check and Tasks. 1. Carry or use the King of Leaf to win a victory in the Heavenly King Challenge. Fire Eyes and Golden Pupils, completed. Carry or use the King of Leaf to participate in a Heavenly King level battle. 8-9 Mysterious Skills. 3. Carry or use the King of Leaf to participate in a battle in the World Heavenly King competition. Tong by Monkey Bloodline. Fortunately, the King of Leaf did not go too far and generously taught Blaziken the basic body training part of the 8-9 mysterious skills. Because of this, Flame Chicken successfully broke through to the Supreme. He officially became the top general under Zhu Hong, so it was not a loss for him to call him Master. Before the game started, Zhu Mu went to Xiaosheng. Xiaosheng's Dawnbreak Gym was exactly Zhu Mu's goal this time. Snorlax's multiplication technique depended on this Dawnbreak Gym. Is anyone here? I want to challenge the gym. Without any extra nonsense, Zhu Mu flew directly to Xiaosheng and headed all the way to the Dawnbreak Gym. Standing at the door of the gym, Zhu Mu asked, "Who is it? You come to challenge the gym so early in the morning?" The disciple came over in a daze, obviously not awake yet. Fuck, Zhu Mu. The moment he saw Zhu Mu, the disciple said that he was awake, completely awake. Quickly notify the gym owner, Zhu Mu is here. Everyone, red alert, Zhu Mu is here. Zhu Mu is coming to our gym. Zhu Mu was speechless. I just come to play a gym match normally. Do you really need to? What's going on? It's like bandits entering the village. After a while, Chen Zhao, the gym trainer of the Dawnbreak Gym, came to the door and personally greeted Zhu Mu. I'm sorry, Master Zhu. Our disciples are not very knowledgeable and don't know much. Please forgive me. This attitude was as if the person who came was not a challenger but a leader who came to inspect. Zhu Mu was a little embarrassed. It's okay, it's okay. Waving his hand and smiling, Zhu Mu prepared to enter the gym. Let's fight quickly. After the fight, we have to go to the Magic City to prepare for the King Challenge. Master Zhu, look, we have already given you the badge of our Dawnbreak Gym. Do you have any misunderstandings? It's not that Chen Zhao is a coward. It's mainly because Pantheon's experience is a wake-up call for all gym trainers. Don't look down on Zhu Mu, the super second generation. Although he is a new trainer, the people behind him are tough. Besides, even if we don't mention the background, just look at Zhu Mu himself. That is also an existence that can compete head-on with the legendary beast. Can you afford to offend such a big devil? If you want to fight with Zhu Mu, you should first check your own strength. I really don't know about this, but I came here mainly because I heard that Master Chen's strength is indeed outstanding. So I want to spar with you before the King of Heaven Challenge, just to hone myself. Zhu Mu was still very polite. After all, you can't hit a smiling person. Chen Zhao was so polite, he was embarrassed to be arrogant. Seeing that Zhu Mu's words left no room for refusal, Chen Zhao had no choice. Okay, let's fight. A quick battle, admit defeat as soon as possible, and send Zhu Mu, this little ancestor, away. With this mentality, Chen Zhao forced a smile and said, okay, then Mr. Zhu, please come in. We will start the gym battle now. Zhu Mu was also happy to fight quickly, without sitting down to rest or anything, and nodded directly. Okay, then I'll trouble Master Chen, Zhu Mu said, and entered the gym with Chen Zhao. On the battlefield, the referee was already ready. Seeing Zhu Mu and the others coming, directly demarcated the battle area, without even explaining the battle rules, and directly announced the start of the game. Worried that Zhu Mu might get into trouble, Snorlax, you go first. After the special training, Snorlax's spirit is very different from before. Before, he was arrogant, and gave people the feeling that he was bragging. But now, after the careful guidance of the King of Leaf, Snorlax has successfully turned bragging into a daily routine. He feels uncomfortable if he doesn't brag for a day, and what he brags about is as if it were true. Please, Sunrock. After Chen Zhao released his own Pokémon, Snorlax laughed disdainfully. Snorlax, That's it, Zumu. I killed more than 100 sun rocks last month. I'm tired of killing them. Last year, there was a sun rock. Because he hit my foot while walking, I directly used a destruction death beam to blast him into several small geodudes. Why do we still have to fight this thing in the gym battle? I'm tired of it. Zumu. Sun rock. Shivering. What's going on? Is the fat guy on the opposite side the sun rock killer? Should I fight this battle or not? If I fight, what if I get beaten into a geodude? What if I don't fight? Turning back, Sunrock looked at Chenzhou tremblingly. Sunrock. Use Rockfall. Chenzhou didn't know what Sunrock was thinking and thought that Sunrock was ready to fight. He immediately gave the order. To be honest, Sunrock's mentality collapsed. I don't want to fight, but my trainer wants me to fight. What should I do? Waiting online. It's urgent. Should I use this Rockfall or not? Woo-oo. Being a Pokemon is so hard for me. Chapter 157. The beautiful teacher reappears. Sunrock is in a very tragic situation. As a Pokemon, he can only obey the command of his trainer. When Sunrock used the Rockfall move, Snorlax didn't even look at it, and let the pebbles fall on him. Snorlax. Zumu. That's it? Can you call this a skill? I can do more damage than him with Sand Swipe, right? Snorlax continued to show off, and Sunrock's mentality had completely collapsed. Zumu couldn't stand it anymore. Although Snorlax was his Pokemon, he didn't have to pay taxes for bragging. But, he was just bragging too much. Snorlax, serve him. Not wanting Snorlax to continue, Zumu gave the order directly to make a quick decision. Snorlax, got it? Look at my super invincible surf. What was originally an ordinary surf was shouted out with the momentum of a tsunami by Snorlax. Sunrock, who had been cautious all the time, was frightened when he saw Snorlax suddenly shout. Without even hearing Chenzhou's command to dodge, he was hit by Snorlax's surf. It could be that Charizard's influence was too great, or it could be that Snorlax wanted to create an atmosphere that he was a great god. With this surfing move, Snorlax really made a big scene. Seeing the small tsunami-like waves knocking Sunrock to the ground, Snorlax roared triumphantly. Then, a large amount of water quickly spread on the ground because it lost Snorlax's control, and directly submerged the battlefield. Click, click. The light tubes made intermittent sounds, followed by the air conditioner and speakers. Boom. Finally, because of the water ingress, the electrical appliances of the Dawn Gym collectively short-circuited, and a huge explosion sounded. Looking at the dark gym and smelling the burnt smell in the air, Chenzhou said in a daze, "Let's fight here, okay, Mr. Zoo." Zumu saw that Sunrock had lost its combat ability, and the system also reminded him that Snorlax had successfully obtained the multiplication technique. A helpless smile. "I'm sorry, Master Chen. I didn't expect this to happen." Chenzhou tried to stay calm and not let his emotions go into a violent state. "It's okay, I knew it would be like this, Master Zoo, see you later." Zumu was a little stunned when he heard this. "You already knew it." Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the Snorlax sign-in mission. Carry or use Snorlax to win a game in the Ziosheng Gym battle. Reward Ninjutsu, Multiplication Jutsu. Ding. Snorlax's sign-in mission has been updated. Snorlax sign-in mission. Carry or use Snorlax to complete a battle in the Magic City Academy. Ninjutsu, Meet Bomb Chariot. After receiving the mission reward, Zumu didn't say much and took a plane directly to the Magic City. The Eastern King Challenge is a competition prepared for the top trainers of the entire Eastern land. Let me reiterate what a top trainer is. That is to say, during the period of being in the academy, students will officially become rookie trainers, and then they can be certified in the academy or local alliance centers and upgraded to junior trainers, intermediate trainers, advanced trainers and elite trainers. After becoming an elite trainer, each stage will be specifically divided into the initial stage, the middle stage, the late stage and the peak stage. The condition for becoming an elite trainer is to have 6 elite level Pokemon. After that, it is an outstanding trainer. This is also easy to explain. It corresponds to the Pseudo-King strength. If you have 3 Pseudo-King level Pokemon, you can become an outstanding trainer. This is mainly the first small goal of most students in the academy before or after graduation. Just like the postgraduate entrance examination, Some students start preparing in their 3rd and 4th years, while some want to continue after graduation. After that, it is the peak trainer we often mention. Trainers at this stage are the backbone of the trainer circle. It can be said that as long as you become a peak trainer, you have the capital to make a living in the trainer circle. The conditions for becoming a peak trainer are very interesting. You only need to have a king level Pokémon, and it is very difficult to become a king trainer above the peak. This is a hard requirement. Top trainers need to participate in the King Challenge and be among the top 3 every year to become kings. This is outrageous, and it also leads to uneven strength among top trainers. Some people already have 6 king Pokémons, or even master Pokémons, but he is still a top trainer, because he did not participate in the competition. He cannot get the corresponding title. Above the king is the venerable. The World King Tournament is held by the East and Western Europe. Once a year, all kings can be invited to participate. The top 6 in the World King Tournament can become venerables and get the title. As for above venerables, Zumu has not yet come into contact with it, which is also related to the border. Let's not mention it for now. It's not that the author didn't write it well, but there is really no need to say it, so as not to say that I am water, or I forget it later and need to say it again. The Magic City holds the King Challenge every year, and now has its own set of procedures for holding it. After Zumu landed on the plane, he was directly greeted by the car of the competition organizer and went all the way to the contestant village to arrange accommodation. After arriving at the contestant village, Zumu found his room according to his competition number. Wow, why do other contestants live in high-rise buildings, but I live in a villa? Zumu stood at the door of a large manor and suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Oh, isn't it a bit bad to be so special, so Versailles? Why don't you stay here? In the distance, a tall beauty slowly walked over and said to Zumu with a smile. Zumu looked and found that it was the beautiful teacher Yang, and he laughed at the time. Old acquaintance, what's the matter? Teacher Yang deliberately waited for me here. Seeing Zumu's shameless joke, Yang rolled her eyes. Is there something wrong with my brain? I came here to wait for you. I'm going to see the competition process and the distribution of the contestants' battles. Hearing this, Zumu hurriedly said, then wait for me. I'll put my luggage in, and we'll go and see it together. It just so happens that I don't know the way. Teacher Yang, take me. Yang didn't refuse, and waited at the door of the villa. Not long after, the two came to the contestant area of the Alliance Center together and found their own seats. You're in Zone A, and I'm in Zone C. It looks like we won't meet in the preliminaries. Seeing that she didn't meet Zumu, Yang breathed a sigh of relief. This guy can now fight against the beasts alone. He is the top seed in this year's King of Kings Challenge. It looks like the players in Zone A are going to be unlucky. Zumu finished frying fish in the novice village and moved to the expert zone to continue frying. Chapter 158, Selecting Troops and Generals. Oh my god, I'm actually in Zone A. It's over. I've run into Zumu. My efforts for this year have all gone to waste again. A red-haired young man stared at the player distribution map in the daze, and screamed in despair. Don't be pessimistic. Try your best and come back next year. Seeing someone trying to persuade him, the young man said dejectedly, this is the only way. I just became a top trainer not long ago, so I came to try my luck. I didn't expect that I would be grouped with Zumu. This life is unbearable. The young man scratched his hair hard, took out his mobile phone, and prepared to book a return ticket. The man who had just spoken said again, why are you booking a ticket? The young man didn't even raise his head, and his fingers kept clicking on his mobile phone, obviously trying to grab a ticket. What else can I do? Buying a ticket in advance can save hundreds of dollars. I have no hope this time. It doesn't matter how many games I can play. It's better to save some money and go home early. Seeing the young man so pessimistic, Zumu didn't know what to say. That's right. The person who spoke to comfort the young man was Zumu. After he left, the young man also booked a flight ticket, and then looked up at Zumu's contestant photo. Suddenly, the air froze. Fuck, the one who just talked to me? After returning to the contestant village with Yang, Zumu thought of what happened just now and couldn't help laughing. Seeing this, Yankiankian asked curiously. What are you laughing at? Zoomu shook his head. Nothing. I just thought that you and I are not in the same battle zone. So lucky. Hearing this, Yankiankian raised her head and pouted sullenly. You are a freak. You are only 16 years old. How can you be so strong? Zoomu looked at Yankiankian innocently, and didn't know how to coax such an angry girl. He opened his mouth, but didn't know what to say. Forget it. I'd better not coax her. It will be fine in a while. If you have my family background, you might be so strong at the age of 16. The words full of Versailles tone came out of Zoomu's mouth lightly. Yankiankian was completely dumbfounded. Can he be more shameless? Your father-in-law is the chief. Your grandfather is the chief, and the whole East knows it, okay? In the evening, Zoomu and his old friend Yankiankian had dinner together, and introduced his two new Pokémon to her. The two parted ways, and Yankiankian returned to her small room that was like a shared house. Zoomu returned to his big villa. Lying on the bed, Zoomu thought about tomorrow's game and couldn't help feeling a little bored. What's the point of participating in this kind of competition when you know you can win the championship? Well, I'll just be a rookie trainer honestly, isn't it? Damn Kyle. You insist on making me become a venerable. Isn't this just a pain in the ass? What's so good about being a venerable? I just want to be a romantic campus couple with Sirona in the academy now. Once we graduate, we'll get married, then go on a honeymoon and take a romantic world trip. Talking to himself, Zoomu gradually felt sleepy. The moonlight came into Zoomu's room through the window. Celebi's egg was shaking gently beside Zoomu's bed. Roar, frog. Why don't you have special training tonight? Charizard stood in the yard, looking at the lazy Greninja. Cool. I told you, don't call me frog. What's the point of special training? We've been doing so much training recently, and tomorrow is the game, so we'd better conserve our energy. Seeing Greninja say such a philosophical word, Dragonite and Leaf King were a little surprised. Dragonite, the academic master, and Leaf King, the big liar, have become a pair of good friends after more than a month of getting along. Indeed, one looks gentle and refined, but fights like a mad dog. The other looks rough, but is actually Jongf embroidering, rough but delicate. It's normal for the two of them to play together. Fatty, tomorrow's game should be easy, right? Leaf King found a topic, and the two Pokémons lay on the grass of the manor and looked at the moonlight. Dragonite thought for a moment, made a gesture of pushing his glasses, and slowly said, Yo-woo, I don't think it's a big problem. Let's see what Greninja does. This guy likes to arrange the lineup the most. In his words, he is the head coach, arranging the troops. The King of Leaves chuckled when he heard this. Indeed, Greninja's second-year character can also do such a stupid thing. Hoo-hoo, then why didn't he come? Dragonite was very calm, did not speak, and cast his eyes to Greninja on the side. Sure enough, Greninja couldn't help but say that as soon as the King of Leaves finished speaking, he jumped up from the ground with a somersault. He walked in front of the elves, put his hands behind his back, and shouted, Cool. The little master still attaches great importance to tomorrow's game. Although we are determined to win the championship of this game, however, we must not be careless. From ancient times to the present, there have been too many things that have capsized in the gutter. We must stay stable and not overturn. As he said that, Greninja signaled to everyone that he needed cooperation. The one who gave him the most face was Arceus, because just now, Greninja secretly gave him a piece of chocolate and asked him to cooperate with him. That's right, Greninja is right. We must not fall over. Driven by Arceus, the elves reluctantly applauded Greninja. Spreading his hands to signal everyone to applaud, Greninja continued, in the preliminaries, Fat has already talked to me. It's a 3-on-3 match. There are 3 preliminaries in total. My plan is that in the first battle, we have to show our momentum, but we can't reveal too much strength. So, the members who will fight tomorrow are Bulbasaur, Charizard, and the King of Leaf. Although Bulbasaur's strength is still a little lacking, it is still important to participate in the battle, and strive to evolve as soon as possible to catch up with the pace of our predecessors. Tane, received. Bulbasaur still cooperates with Greninja. After all, he is the younger generation. Although his father is very awesome, Greninja's father is not bad either. Both are the main Pokémon of invincible trainers. As the second generation, Bulbasaur still respects Greninja as a senior. Cool. Charizard, King of Leave. You are under a lot of pressure. Are you confident, like a gold medal lecturer, or a general who is about to go to war? Greninja is trying hard to mobilize the emotions of the soldiers. However, roar, frog, be quiet. I'm sleepy. Hua, go to sleep if you are sleepy. There is a game tomorrow. Greninja. Chapter 159. Bulbasaur has learned a lot. The next morning, Zoomu got up and washed up. He made an appointment with Yankiankin to meet in the preparation area. After the two met, they went to have breakfast together. I don't know who is so unlucky today to meet a little monster like you. Yankiankin looked at the sandwich and thought of Zumu's strength. The bread in her mouth suddenly didn't smell good. Zumu was speechless. He was eating well. Why did you mention this unhappy thing? No, shouldn't this be a happy thing? Zumu suddenly laughed. That's right. I don't know who will be so unlucky today to become my opponent in the first battle. Yankiankin saw that Zumu was still laughing and suddenly lost her appetite. Sure enough, envy and jealousy make people ugly. Taking out a small mirror and looking at herself, Yankiankin suddenly felt that she seemed to have become ugly. You still have the mood to look in the mirror. Do you know who your opponent is? Zumu saw that Yankiankin didn't eat anymore and casually changed the subject. Indeed, it is understandable that it is stressful to eat at the same table with a player who is known to be the champion. As a man, Zumu naturally has to take care of Yankiankin's emotions. I saw it yesterday. A kid from Yancheng, it is said that he is quite strong, participated in the Rookie King of the Northern 5 provinces, and has also been in underground competitions for many years. Zumu curled his lips when he saw this. Hearing you say that, the opponent is obviously very strong, right? But seeing that you don't look worried, what's the matter? Can Versailles be contagious? Okay, just know it in your heart. I won't ask, Zumu said, and stood up to pay the bill. It is a bad habit to let beautiful women pay the bill. So Zumu took the lead in paying for his breakfast. As for Yankiankin's, sorry, Zumu only paid for Shirona, a girl. The widowed king is really widowed. At noon, it was finally Zumu's turn to fight. Zumu came directly to the battle site without saying a word. I have been waiting for a whole morning, and my butt is numb. Red side, Feng Cheng Zumu. Blue side, Heich Lin Hashan. Both sides can use 3 elves. Please release the elves. The referee still looked very well behaved, and even looked a little impatient. There was no other way. Zumu had been sitting for the whole morning, while the referee had been standing for the whole morning. Everyone would be tired, but seeing that it was Zumu's match, the referee still forced himself to cheer up. He couldn't afford to offend this young master. Go. Just as Zumu was about to take Snorlax's Pokeball, he found that Bulbasaur had jumped out by himself. No, Zumu, this is what Senior Greninja arranged. I'll go first in the first match, followed by the King of Leave, Charizard, Zumu. Then I'll go? Okay, then you play the first match. Be careful, don't resist. In fact, with Bulbasaur's pseudo-king strength, it is normal for him to play in a preliminary round of the King Challenge. After all, there is Zumu, a great tactical god. He can increase Bulbasaur's strength by several times out of thin air. But there are buts in everything. Lin Hashian is not an idiot. Who is Zumu? He is the top seed player in this King Challenge. Facing Zumu, either go for the main force directly or wait for the loss. Bulbasaur? Zumu, do you look down on me? Seeing Zumu letting a Bulbasaur take the lead, Lin Hashian gritted his teeth and said secretly, in that case, I'll let you lose the first battle and teach you a lesson. He thought his voice was low enough, but he didn't expect Zumu to have the power of overcoming. Zumu heard everything this guy said without missing a single word. Go. Houndoom. Lin Hashian released his main Pokémon, a dark and fire type Houndoom. Zumu waited for him to release the Pokémon and sneered. He said, you're right. I look down on you, Houndoom. Hee. I'll let you attack first. Come on. Maybe the temperament of the Pokémon will change the trainer, or maybe Zumu is just a pretentious person. Without any forbearance, Zumu directly provoked Lin Hashian when he heard him secretly calling him a bastard. Of course, it's not enough for Zumu, a trainer, to provoke him. According to the fine tradition of Zumu's elf team, provocation and slogans are necessary before the battle. Zangna, I saw Bulbasaur looking at Houndoom fiercely, and shouted fearlessly, "You big black dog, black skin, black head, black butt, you dared to come out to fight with your virtue. Aren't you afraid of scaring the beauties? It's not your fault that you are ugly, but it's wrong for you to come out to scare people. Look, look, you still don't believe it. Do you want to bite me? Don't disbelieve it. I tell you, think about it yourself, from childhood to adulthood. Have you ever been hugged by a human beauty? Have you ever been rubbed in the arms of a human beauty? No, don't feel bad if you haven't. Who made you ugly?" Bulbasaur is not only a rich second generation, but also a standard chatterbox. In front of Zumu's elves, Bulbasaur is like a quiet little cutie, never saying a word. But when it came to the outsiders, Bulbasaur didn't forget a single word of the insults taught by Fatty and Big Fudge. Houndoom was so autistic after being insulted by Bulbasaur. He thought about it carefully, and it seemed to be like this. From childhood to adulthood, he was as black as a piece of charcoal. Being black is fine, but the main thing is, there really is no beautiful woman hugging him. Woo-oo. Houndoom was sad. Zone, don't look like someone died in your family. Who are you showing your sad face to? Do you know why no beautiful woman hugged you? Being black is secondary. The main thing is that you are ugly. Houndoom suddenly realized that this was the case. Lou, then I should? Bulbasaur saw Houndoom asking the question on his own initiative and smiled triumphantly. Zone, listen to me. Turn around now. I'll help you dress up. Houndoom did not doubt him, turned around obediently, faced his trainer, and stood at attention. On Zumu's waist, the Pokeball of the King of Leaves suddenly shook, as if praising Bulbasaur for learning the essence of deception. Deception based on the opponent's weakness is absolutely accurate. Just like the salesperson who buys cosmetics, they will first praise you for your beauty and then point out the flaws. It's the same principle. Grasp the desires in the heart of the Pokémon, so that you can be deceptive. Without Zumu's command, Bulbasaur used the Vine Whip to dig out a small bag of soft sand from his seat after Houndoom turned around. This is top-grade soft sand, not only expensive, but also can double the power of ground-based skills. Aiming at Houndoom's butt, Bulbasaur smiled. Come on, baby, are you ready? Look at me. Earthquake. Chapter 160. The King of Tricksters enters the stage. Lin Hashian was completely confused. What happened to my Houndoom? Why did he turn his face towards me and his butt towards his opponent? And then, was he killed instantly by an earthquake from Bulbasaur? What the hell is this Bulbasaur? After a long silence, Lin Hashian slowly accepted the reality. Maybe, this is Zumu. I'll leave it to you next, my old friend. Talon. Seeing that Bulbasaur won the battle, the King of Leaf jumped out of the Pokeball himself. You did a good job. But there is still one thing that is not good enough. That is, to let the opponent defeat himself. That is the highest level of deception. The King of Leaf was like a life mentor, teaching Bulbasaur earnestly. Bulbasaur was also very obedient, nodding obediently and admitting his mistakes. I plan to go back and summarize it in the evening. Okay, next you just watch carefully. I'll show you. As he said, the King of Leaf walked onto the battlefield without looking at Zumu the whole time. It seemed that Zumu, the trainer, was just a decoration. That's right, for a fighting style like the one that asks for leave, the existence of a trainer is really meaningless. Dragon, there's no bag on your belly, are you a male? When he saw the dragon, the king who asks for leave did not act too fierce, but instead communicated with his opponent in a friendly manner. Dragon, ignore him. Herod was deceived by his opponent. Lin Hashian was not given for nothing. After all, he was a top trainer, and he reminded the dragon at the first time. Upon hearing this, the dragon also instantly raised his guard, looking at the king who asks for leave coldly, without any intention of answering. Don't be so hostile, we are all gay men. By the way, I want to ask you, how does it feel to be a female dragon? The day before yesterday, there was a female dragon at my house that kept seducing me, but I didn't dare to agree. The king who asks for leave's words, but it was a bomb. In the dragon family, The number of male dragons is extremely rare. It can be said that in this seemingly matriarchal group, the male dragon is the king of the group. Every adult male marsupial dragon has so many concubines that they can't be counted on two hands. Moreover, male marsupial dragons are extremely territorial elves. They have an almost pathological desire to control female marsupial dragons. Long, shameless thing. Obviously, when Lin Hashan heard that a female marsupial dragon seduced the King of Leave, his marsupial dragon couldn't help but get angry. The King of Leave showed a smile at the corner of his mouth. I'm afraid you won't speak. You see, it's good to be able to communicate. As long as you are a living thing, I can fool you to death. Whoa, isn't it? She had a good time with the big rock snake on our mountain before. I disliked her for being dirty, so I didn't agree. The King of Leave said this, and the marsupial dragon was directly angry. Long, where is this marsupial dragon? That mountain. I will go to eliminate the harm for our marsupial dragon clan. Sure enough, as the King of Leave continued to induce, the marsupial dragon gradually became angry and began to ask questions actively. The bag dragon. Ignore him. Unable to understand what the two elves were communicating, Lin Hashan could only shout helplessly, hoping that the bag dragon would listen to him. However, it's okay for it to listen to you at ordinary times. Now that the dignity of my male bag dragon has been involved, I can't listen at this time. Long, speak. What is the name of your mountain? The King of Leave saw that the bag dragon was anxious, and he didn't keep it a secret, and smiled and said, Whoa, my hometown is in this village, and I am a native of this village. The mountain in our family is called Xiangyu Mountain. There is an Xiangyu Mountain villa on the mountain, and there's a security guard named Huoyazi. The words of the King of Leave made the bag dragon look confused. That's right. Not every elf has watched Country Love, but he still remembered this key place name, Xiangyu Mountain. Whoa, this is not important. You can go after the game is over, but I suggest that you should exercise your resistance to poison now. The King of Leave began. After such a long preparation, his routine finally began. Bulbasaur standing behind Zumu was so excited that he wanted to cheer, just like seeing the Buck sent to Kampo Duncan to win the championship. Bulbasaur almost jumped up to celebrate. Long, anti-poison. Why? The Drake didn't understand. What does killing the unfaithful female Drake for the sake of the race have to do with anti-poison? Whoa, let me tell you, after I rejected that female Drake, this guy found a Nidoking. This Nidoking is the boss of our Ivory Mountain, nicknamed Gaptooth, and the cave he lives in is called Ivory Villa. You see, when the King of Leave tells stories, there is never a word of nonsense, and they are all connected and echoed, just like now. The Drake finally understood what the King of Leave said before. Gaptooth of Ivory Villa meant. Long, what about Nidoking? I'm not afraid of him. The Drake is a king-level Pokémon after all, so he still has this confidence. You can't be afraid of Nidoking just by hearing about it. Unfortunately, the next words of the King of Leave filled the young heart of the Possum Dragon with fear and anger. Whoa, don't talk nonsense. That Nidoking is a powerful leader. There were many Possum Dragons living in our Ivory Mountain. It is because of the arrival of this Nidoking that these Possum Dragons are almost extinct. Because he ate all these Possum Dragons. The reason why this female Possum Dragon can live with Nidoking is because Nidoking is tired of eating Possum Dragons. Hearing this, the Possum Dragon subconsciously shrank his head. However, he quickly reacted that as a man, even if he heard the demon Nidoking who eats Possum Dragons, he could not show the slightest fear. He pretended to be tough and roared, Long, this pair of adulterers. Watch me destroy them. The King of Leave did not seem to see the Possum Dragon's previous shrinking action, and said warmly, Whoa. So, you must first practice anti-toxicity before you can defeat this Nidoking. This time, the Tasmanthus didn't talk tough and asked modestly, Long, how can I improve my resistance to poison? The King of Leave laughed. Zumu also laughed. Bulbasaur almost got a stitch in his side with laughter. The fish took the bait. I've fought with that Nidoking before, so I have a certain understanding of his toxicity. In fact, it's very simple to defeat him. Just listen to me. Just give yourself a strong poison and hold on for 10 minutes. As long as you don't fall down within 10 minutes, It means you can defeat that Tasmanthus maniac. Chapter 161, Fire-Breathing Dragon's Final Strike. The bag dragon nodded in confusion, thinking that the king of leave was right. Long, then I'll try. As he said that, the bag dragon didn't care about Lin Hashin, the trainer behind him, and directly threw a fierce toxin on himself. When the dark green halo appeared on the bag dragon, it meant that the bag dragon was already poisoned. Lin Hashin was stunned. What's going on? My bag dragon poisoned itself? I killed myself? I can't play anymore. I can't play this game anymore. If I continue to play, Lin Hashin feels that he will go to the mental hospital. What the hell is this thing? Is it a human? Bag dragon, what are you doing? Using fierce toxin on yourself? Are you crazy? Hurry, use sleep to detoxify. What are you doing? It's over. What the hell is this? Why is my Pokémon not listening? Lin Hashin was desperate. The poisonous and poisoned states are different. The poisoned state will only cause a fixed loss of physical strength until the Pokémon falls, but the poisonous state is really cruel. The physical strength lost in each round is doubled. In other words, the King of Leave asked the possum to hold on for 10 minutes, which was an impossible task. It was just that this guy was blinded by the dignity of a man. Well, he was fooled by the King of Leave. The poisoned possum looked at the King of Leave and gritted his teeth and said, "Long, help me keep time." The King of Leave nodded lightly. Don't worry, brother. As a trainer, Lin Hashin saw this weird situation for the first time. At the same time, the referee and the audience on the scene were also confused. What's going on? The King of Leave just stood there and called a few times, and this possum used the fierce toxin on himself? Could it be that the characteristic of this possum is synchronization? Synchronization means that one's abnormal state can be synchronized with the opponent. It is a very bad characteristic, but it is relatively useless. This situation is obviously impossible. No possum has the characteristic of synchronization. That is to say, there is only one answer. The referee looked at the King of Leave with a deep gaze, and then at the possum. This is a male marsupial dragon. According to what Sherlock Holmes said, if all impossible factors are eliminated, then the final result is that no matter how unbelievable it is, he is also the truth. This marsupial dragon is definitely a fencing marsupial dragon. Readers who don't understand, read the comments. Just when the referee had the answer in his mind, the marsupial dragon looked at the King of Leave with a deep, even somewhat affectionate look. He called out deeply, "Long, good brother, how long have I persisted?" The King of Leave hadn't finished his play yet. Seeing that the marsupial dragon was still gritting his teeth and holding on, he secretly said in his heart, "This guy is good." According to my experience in pitting elves, ordinary elves will not be able to survive after 5 minutes after being poisoned by the fierce toxin. This marsupial dragon can actually persist for 10 minutes, which is amazing. Whoa! The King of Leave looked at the marsupial dragon with a firm look and said with justice, "Don't be afraid, good brother. It's been 5 minutes, and there are still 5 minutes to go. Hold on. There is still half the time left. Persistence is victory. Come on. That Nidoking who eats the Bronco can never beat you. Good brother, you are the best." Long. Okay, I will continue. The Bronco gritted his teeth and said these words with sweat all over his forehead. 5 minutes later. Long. How long will it take? 2 minutes left. Hold on. Long. Okay. 2 minutes later. Long. How long will it take? The King of Leave. 1 minute left. Long. I can't do it anymore. Boom. The Bronco endured the poisonous invasion for 17 minutes and finally fell down. Lin Hashin was speechless. He didn't want to say a word now. He just wanted to end this inexplicable game quickly and go home. After Zumu wins the championship, come again next year. The referee secretly felt sorry in his heart. It seems that this Bronco failed to impress the King of Leave. If he was a female, maybe it would be different. Zumu meaningfully put away the King of Leave and the Bulbasaur who was dancing excitedly on the side. Next, come out by yourself. Bang! Charizard jumped out of the Pokeball by itself and spread his hands helplessly. Roar! I can't do anything about it. The frog arranged it. Zumu said that he knew it and it had nothing to do with him. He was just a decoration. Cool. I told you not to call me a frog. Call me a prince. Greninja in the Pokeball yelled in frustration. Lin Hashan was ready to admit defeat, but thinking of his efforts this year, he couldn't make up his mind to leave. At the very least, he had to fail with all his strength on the field, so that he could be worthy of his efforts. Please, Crocodile, don't listen to your opponent. Don't worry, I know. As Lin Hashan's initial Pokémon, Crocodile had already witnessed everything in the Pokeball, such as Bulbasaur fooling Houndoom and King of Leaf fooling Dragonite. Crocodile was fully prepared. He firmly believed that as long as he ignored his opponent, he would not be deceived, ignored, and confused. Relaxed. Taking a deep breath, Crocodile walked onto the field with great pressure. Charizard just snorted coldly when he saw Crocodile. He didn't scold anyone, nor did he shout slogans. Charizard now has a bad temper. He was very annoyed by what Greninja arranged last night. This frog is always so second year, wanting to arrange everyone. When I am stronger than him, I will definitely pin him to the ground and teach him a lesson. That's right. The main reason why Charizard went to the battle obediently was that he was not as strong as Greninja. If he couldn't beat him, he could only obey. What else could he do? Charizard, who was full of anger, waited for the referee to announce the start, and said nothing. Looking back at Zoomu directly said that he understood. Mega Evolution. I am just a tool to help you evolve. You are pretending to be cool, but you don't even know to bring me along. After all, tools are also people. Charizard didn't care about Zoomu's nagging. After Mega Evolution, it flew into the air. Roar, evil flame dragon. If you are in a bad mood, no more nonsense. Just kill you in 1 second. The powerful crocodile on the ground didn't understand the situation yet, and was wondering why this opponent ignored him and was so cold. As a result, when he looked closely, a purple flame dragon was descending from the sky and heading straight for him. Before he could say a word, the powerful crocodile was hit by the evil flame dragon. Boom. When the flames dissipated and the dust receded, the powerful crocodile was lying on the ground with his eyes circling. His last words before he lost his ability to fight were, This Charizard, he doesn't play by the rules. Chapter 162, Taking the Elves to KTV. After the first victory, Zoomu returned to the contestant preparation area, and Yang Qianqian just came back. How was the result over there, Teacher Yang? Zoomu asked with a smile. Yang Qianqian had already gotten used to Zoomu's smile, although she had never seen Zoomu's true face, small-minded. But she was also used to the signature fake smile of this sunny boy. What do you think? Don't you know what level your teacher is? Yang Qianqian proudly raised her head, showing her slender neck, and smiled happily. TSK. Seeing Teacher Yang's seductive action, Zoomu secretly smacked his lips. I don't know why. Since Zoomu met the 7 goddess ants, Zoomu found that, except for Sirona, he no longer had any desire to see women. It felt like the seductive action of Teacher Yang raising his neck just now looked like a fire-breathing dragon licking its claws. There was no big difference, and it couldn't arouse Zoomu's desire at all. It was just boring. Don't you think it was strange? After chatting for a few more words, Zoomu said goodbye to Teacher Yang. After parting ways, Zoomu returned to his big manor and prepared to find something to do. After all, it was an afternoon, and he was idle anyway, so he couldn't waste his time, right? Of course, this was also the reason why Zoomu hated participating in competitions, because there was only one game a day, and he had nothing to do after the game, which was really boring. Ding ding ding, the phone rang. Zoomu, are you done with the preliminaries? After picking up the phone, Zoomu heard the voice of his 6th and Zoolander. Thinking of the pair of peerless weapons, Zoomu had an idea at that time. Understand it yourself. If you don't understand it, go to face the wall. Well, I just came back and was going to take a rest. And, are you in the Magic City? Zoomu said, and he was also a little curious. 6th Ant suddenly called him. Is there something going on? Well, I just came back, and I want to go to KTV to sing later. Zoomu, are you free? Sure enough, there is something good. When Zoomu heard that Zoolander wanted to find him to sing, he became interested. I couldn't help but imagine Zoolander holding a microphone, shaking the pair of white rabbits in front of her chest, singing, "Little white rabbit, white and white this is to nosebleed. Of course I'm free, you know this competition. It can be done in minutes." As he said that, Zumu began to pretend. "After all, my aunt personally trained me for more than a month. Isn't this kind of competition just a bully for me?" Hearing this, Zoolander smiled happily and said, "That's right, Zumu is the best. Then wait for me in the contestant village. I'll pick you up later." Zumu nodded. "Okay." Not long after, Zoolander arrived, driving a Lamborghini, wearing a pair of dark green sunglasses, and is so cool. "And, I'm here." Zumu stretched out his hand and pointed to Zoolander's position. "Are there only two of us singing?" Zumu asked casually after getting in the car. "No, what's the point of the two of us singing? It's mainly because my Ninetales and Meletta want to sing. It's just right that you can bring your elves with you, so that they can relax." Hearing Zoolander's answer, Zumu was stunned. "What, not singing with me, but letting the elves sing?" "No, elves only have those two calls. What can they sing to understand?" Zumu was a little confused. Zoolander smiled playfully. "Stupid little Mew, have you forgotten your aunt's profession?" Zumu remembered when she asked this. Sixth, and Zoolander is a high-level breeder, so he didn't need to question Zoolander's professionalism. She said that elf singing can relax and relieve stress, then it must be possible. After all, this is a world where elves really exist. When it comes to tactics and paper knowledge of elves, Zumu is confident that he can be one of the best in this world. But when it comes to breeding elves, Zumu really suffered from his lack of education. "Okay, then I'll listen to my aunt, but my elves are quite big. Can the KTV accommodate them?" Zumu didn't care, since Zoolander said she wanted to go. "Then let's go. Don't worry, the KTV we are going to is a small business under the name of the Fourth Sister. It was mainly because I said I wanted to study the relationship between music and elves that the Fourth Sister opened the store. This store is dedicated to elves, so it can naturally accommodate your elves," Zoolander said, and suddenly sighed. "It's really unknowing that we are all old, and that store has been open for several years." Zumu couldn't respond. The age difference between the aunts is not big, basically between 20 and 30 years old. Like Zoolander and Zookinking, they are the youngest, only about 23 or 24. Sure enough, when a woman says she is old, it doesn't matter how old she is. When they arrived at the KTV, Zoolander's car was the best symbol of her status. Seeing that it was the boss's sister who came, the manager took the initiative to greet her and arranged the supreme 999 private room for Zumu and Zoolander. "Today, Auntie will lead you to sing, to cheer everyone up." Zumu released all his elves and said, "Huh? Singing? Where is this?" Charizard subconsciously looked around the surrounding environment and asked. Dragonite twisted its chubby body and sat on the sofa, as if it was an old guest who often came to play. "Yo, look at your ignorant look. This is a KTV, a place dedicated to singing. What I told you before, have you forgotten?" When he said this, the King of Leave, Koga Ninja and others all remembered that Dragonite seemed to have really mentioned this KTV. Arceus didn't care what they said, and rushed directly to the cut fruit plate. Then, if Zumu hadn't stopped him, he would have almost swallowed the plate. "Cool, I am Koga Ninja. I meet the 6th princess." "Koga Ninja, long time no see." Zoolander saw Koga Ninja running over to salute her, and hurriedly responded with a smile. It doesn't matter that she waved her hand like that, what matters is the clothes that were not loose to begin with. Zumu quickly turned his head and looked at Zoolander's elves, Ninetales, Meletta, and Jigglypuff from the La Lola region. "Huh? Jigglypuff? And, you brought Jigglypuff to sing?" Zumu was shocked, thinking of the classic plot in the anime. He covered his face and ears at the first time. Looking back, Zoolander also saw this Jigglypuff who came out of nowhere. "What a cute little guy, isn't this your elf, Zumu?" Without giving Zumu a chance to refuse, Jigglypuff had already raised the microphone in his hand high. The familiar melody came from the speakers, and Zumu only felt his eyelids gradually getting heavier. Bo-bo-bili bo-bili bo-bolibo. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163, Jigglypuff Battle. When Zumu opened his eyes again, he subconsciously rushed to the bathroom. Looking at his face full of ghostly characters in the mirror, Zumu started to wash without saying a word. How could this Jigglypuff appear here? Ding! Congratulations to the host for triggering a special event, Jigglypuff Battle. Host, please find Jigglypuff within an hour and return it to the master. Sirona. Task reward, wave power. Zumu saw the dog system suddenly appear, and he instantly realized it. This Jigglypuff with the attribute of forced sleep is Sirona's elf. Then according to Zumu's previous guess, it is not surprising that Jigglypuff appeared in this world. He is Sirona's elf, so everything can match up and make sense. This is a big pit. Predictors, come and guess Sirona's life experience. After washing his face, Zumu returned to the private room and saw that his elf and Zoolanor's elf were already sleeping on the ground, so he could only helplessly go forward and wake Zoolaner up first. In fact, waking up a beautiful woman is not a helpless job. It's well known. Well, not well known. Probably all gay men who have had girlfriends will know one thing, that is, beautiful women are the cutest when they are woken up. That kind of subconscious, soft sound can simply melt your heart. Of course, if you have a girlfriend and have done wake-up service, but have never heard this kind of sound, then I can tell you responsibly that you have not entered this girl's heart. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Zumu came forward happily, gently put his arm around Zoolanor's shoulders, and woke her up. Book friends, try not to drive during this paragraph. I'm afraid of being reported. Woo 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 tilde. Well Zumu, what's the situation? The soft voice came, and Zoolaner opened her eyes in confusion. Zumu helped her sit on the sofa to rest, and said, we were hypnotized by Jigglypuff. Zoolaner couldn't believe it. Although she was a breeder, her nine-tailed fox and Meletta were also the strength of the Heavenly King Master. Was she hypnotized by such an inconspicuous Jigglypuff? No way. Zumu nodded helplessly. Yes, if you don't believe me, go to the bathroom and look at your face in the mirror. This Jigglypuff likes to play pranks on people after they fall asleep and graffiti on their faces. As he said that, Zumu pointed at the elves on the ground. Nine-tailed, Snorlax, Greninja, Lugia. Everyone's face was covered with all kinds of interesting graffiti. Ah! With a scream, Zoolaner, who reacted, covered her face instantly and rushed into the bathroom. Sure enough, no matter what time, a woman's face is the most important. Zumu sighed and woke up the elves one by one. Then let Greninja use water skills to clean everyone's face. Where is that Jigglypuff? Where is he? After Zoolaner came out of the bathroom, she became irritable. Zumu was a little embarrassed, remembering that she had praised Jigglypuff for being cute at the beginning. Women are really fickle creatures. I don't know where he is, but we can go find him. He's my girlfriend's elf. Zumu explained the matter of Jigglypuff and asked Zoolaner to try to eliminate her hostility towards Jigglypuff. Ah, Zumu, you have a girlfriend? Oh, that's right, you have a father-in-law. Of course you have a girlfriend. Zoolaner is usually very careless. The term big brainless refers to a cute girl like Zoolaner. Let Arceus try. This little guy has a very sensitive nose, Zumu said, calling Arceus, who had just washed his face and was eating a fruit plate. It's a bit extravagant for an alpaca to be used as a dog. Arceus, stop eating. Come and help me find the Jigglypuff from before. I'll take you to barbecue tonight when you find it. Zumu directly used his ultimate move. As soon as the barbecue came out, Arceus came to Zumu at lightning speed. Zumu, he's nearby. After all, he is the creator alpaca. Why does he need to use such a low-level method of smelling to find an elf? Arceus used the wave guide to locate Jigglypuff in an instant. Oh my god, I forgot that you are almighty. Zumu secretly smacked his lips. After spending so much time together, he had already regarded Arceus as a glutton. He had completely forgotten the fact that he was the god of creation. Let's go. It's in the private room next door. Arceus said that he didn't care about being looked down upon. As long as he could have barbecue at night, Zumu would do anything. Following Arceus, Zumu came to the private room next door. He opened the door and happened to catch Jigglypuff singing. There were several young ladies singing in the private room. When they saw Jigglypuff holding a microphone, their first reaction was to hug him. There was no defense at all. They were even a little dissatisfied with Zumu and Zoolanner's sudden intrusion. Arceus, use soundproofing. Zumu gave a direct order, asking Arceus to create a soundproof barrier to block Jigglypuff's singing. Then he looked at the young ladies and prepared to explain. As a result, Zoolanner suddenly grabbed Zumu, without even looking at the young ladies, and took out her mobile phone to call the KTV manager. Seeing Zoolanner being so arrogant, the young ladies were ready to step forward to explain the reason. But Zoolanner said to the phone, transfer the guests in the private room next to 999 to the vacant Supreme room. All drinks are free, and it will be charged to my account. After that, Zoolanner looked at the young ladies and said, go over there to play. Order whatever you want. We have some things to deal with. Domineering, arrogant. Having money means being willful. The young ladies didn't have any temper at this time, and immediately left with the waiter without saying a word. Zumu looked at Zoolanner in a daze. He really didn't expect that his aunt, who looked harmless and even a little cute, actually had such a pretentious side. Sure enough, in the Zoo family, pretending to be pretentious is a kind of inheritance. What are you looking at? Catch Jigglypuff. Seeing Zumu looking at her infatuatedly, Zoolanner smiled unrestrainedly. Oh, that's right. Zumu reacted and brought Arceus to hold down Jigglypuff. Grabbing Jigglypuff's microphone, Zumu said, don't be angry, little guy. I'll take you back to Sirona. Hearing Sirona, Jigglypuff stopped pouting this time. Bully, who are you? How do you know Sirona? Zumu smiled when he heard that. My name is Zumu, and I'm Sirona's fiancé. Bully, you are Zumu, so handsome. Bully, Zumu smiled again. Okay, since you're so good at talking, I'll let Luigi take you back personally. The cards must be arranged for you, little Jigglypuff. Chapter 164, Connecting with Sirona. The long-lost heroine finally shows up. Hello, Sirona. Turning on the video call, Zumu happily greeted Sirona. It's been a long time since they last met, although the two often video chat and care about each other every day. However, the internet is not reality after all. It has been a long time since Zumu held Sirona's soft and smooth little hand. He missed it so much. Ah, Zumu, have you finished the game? Zumu didn't have time to report to Sirona about singing with his aunt, but after all, she is his real aunt, and Sirona didn't say she was jealous or anything. There was no need for that. After Zumu finished explaining the cause and effect of the matter, Sirona immediately said that she was very confused. Nani, where is Jigglypuff? I don't know when he got lost. I haven't seen him for a week. My father has been offering a reward in Western Europe to help me find Jigglypuff. How could he be with you? Jigglypuff, who was standing by, saw Sirona on the phone screen and quickly got into Zumu's arms. After finding a comfortable position, he happily greeted Sirona. Bully, Sirona, Jigglypuff misses you. Jigglypuff was about to cry out of grievance. However, thinking of the new songs he had learned during this period, Jigglypuff put away his frustrated expression and took out the microphone to perform for Sirona. Stop! Zumu and Zoolanner shouted these two words almost at the same time. However, it was too late. Jigglypuff's singing had a kind of magic that could not be interrupted and was 100% hypnotic. Seeing that he was about to fall asleep again, Zumu hurriedly shouted, Arceus, soundproof. Arceus, who was eating a fruit plate, heard Zumu's words and also forced himself to use soundproofing and opened a sound barrier. It was a close call. Zumu screamed in his heart. He was just a little bit away from being punished by Jigglypuff again. Zoolanner was also scared and broke into a cold sweat. Her cute face was almost covered with graffiti by Jigglypuff again. Oh no, Sirona. Thinking of the video, Sirona was still in the classroom at school. If she fell asleep, wouldn't it be? Well, it's okay if she fell asleep. The chief's daughter, who dares to move? Just kidding. Hey, how come Sirona is okay? Seeing Sirona listening to Jigglypuff singing seriously, Zumu was very confused, but he still didn't dare to move. After all, Jigglypuff was in his arms now, and Arceus's soundproof barrier was extremely difficult to set up. Zumu was worried that his reckless movement would destroy the barrier, causing everyone to be hypnotized by Jigglypuff again, so he could only wait helplessly for Jigglypuff to finish singing. Bobbly bobbly. Jigglypuff was immersed in his own music world and sang affectionately. Soon, the singing was over. "This song is very nice. Is this a new song that Jigglypuff has learned?" Sirona waited for Jigglypuff to finish singing, and immediately clapped her hands to encourage Jigglypuff. Yes, it's a new song that Jigglypuff has learned. Sure enough, Sirona is the one who likes Jigglypuff the most. Jigglypuff smiled happily. His requirements are not high. He just hopes that someone can like and listen to his songs. But for some reason, most people and elves always fall asleep while listening, and they don't understand art at all. Pulling out a microphone head out of habit, revealing the graffiti pen, Jigglypuff is ready to. "Bobbly, why didn't you guys sleep? Do you like Jigglypuff's songs?" When Jigglypuff finished singing and put down the microphone, Zumu asked Arceus to cancel the soundproof barrier. Seeing that Jigglypuff was about to cry, Zumu smiled gently and said, "Yes, we all like Jigglypuff's songs. But, Sirona hasn't seen you for a long time. Shouldn't you go back to Sirona?" Sirona couldn't find Jigglypuff these days, and she was so worried. Zumu said, dragging Jigglypuff by the hand and placing it in front of the phone screen. Sirona understood and said, "Yes, shouldn't Jigglypuff come back?" Jigglypuff also misses Sirona, but Jigglypuff doesn't know how to go home. Jigglypuff said frustratedly, tears almost falling directly. "This little guy is so cute." Zoolander has been so cute that she has completely forgotten about the graffiti before. Taking out a piece of special elf candy from her bag, Zoolander put it in Jigglypuff's little hand. "Don't cry, don't cry. Jigglypuff is the best. You won't cry after eating a piece of candy." In addition to being reckless and pretentious, the people of the Zoo family are also good at being gentle. Jigglypuff put the candy in his mouth. Zoolander's cooking skills were definitely not exaggerated. "This candy must be delicious." Seeing Jigglypuff's face smiling again, Zoolander also smiled gently. Suddenly, a black shadow flashed by, and Arceus used his super speed to jump onto Zoolander's body. Then he buried his head in Zoolander's bag and began to look for candy. He smelled that the candy just now was definitely better than barbecue. Zumu, Zoolander, Sirona in the video. "Okay, I'll ask Lugia to send Jigglypuff back to you later. It will be here in about half an hour." Lugia Express is stable and fast, with rave reviews and no after-sales service required. "I know what you are going to say. Ha ha ha, yeah, then I'll trouble you." Sirona always nodded in agreement to Zumu's arrangements. "What's the trouble? Isn't this too polite?" Zumu said with a smile, and after saying goodbye to Sirona, he hung up the video. Afterwards, he told Lugia the address and put Jigglypuff on Lugia's back. "Don't sing on the road, hold on to Lugia tightly and don't fall off." Got it, Zumu? Jigglypuff nodded obediently, and his cute appearance was actually somewhat similar to Sirona. After arranging everything, Zumu watched Lugia fly to the sky, and then returned to the private room, play music, and then dance. The Pokemon KTV activity started again. When the microphone master asked for leave and met the equally microphone master Greninja, the two decided to compete with singing. Dragonite, who stuttered when singing, was happily dancing with a rocking stick. Arceus was eating Zoolander's special Pokemon candy. Charizard hid in the corner and listened to the song quietly, while Snorlax and Bulbasaur started to dance to the rhythm. In Zumu's backpack, Celebi's egg was also shaking gently with the music. When Meletta began to perform, Celebi's egg actually slowly emitted a glimmer of light, but it soon dimmed again. Zumu watched the elves playing happily and also felt happy. It turns out that the elves' karaoke really has the magical effect of relaxing and relieving stress. Chapter 165, Toolman Trainer Zumu. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the special task. Reward to the host, Wave Power. The host's superpower and wave power are all at the most basic level. If you want to further improve, the host will ask Arceus for advice. The voice of the dog system sounded, which meant that Lugia had sent Jigglypuff back to Sirona safely. As for why Sirona was not hypnotized when she heard Jigglypuff singing, this may be related to Sirona's natural stupidity. Or, Sirona may have a hidden characteristic, which is the characteristic that cannot be hypnotized. The author just forgot and was too lazy to check the information. Are you angry? Well, in fact, all of this is based on facts, but Zumu is not sure now, so he didn't ask more, because if he asked, Sirona herself might not know what was going on. This cute girl, let her continue to be cute. After saying goodbye to Zoolander, Zumu returned to his villa to rest. That night, Greninja, as the boss, once again replaced Zumu, the trainer, and arranged the candidates for the Pokémon to play tomorrow. The next morning, Zumu was the first game. After getting up early and having breakfast, Zumu came to the preparation area. When his name and player number were called on the radio, Zumu went to the number 3 battlefield. The second round of the preliminaries began. Red side, blue side. Both players can use. The referee finished speaking as usual, and then signaled both players to release their Pokémon. I'm sending out a Dragonite. The opponent, Passerby A, roared and released his Dragonite. Zumu, on the other hand, looked calm, waiting for his Pokémon to jump out of the Pokeball. Bang! This time, it was Snorlax. Zumu looked calm about being arranged by Greninja. I'm used to it. Do you understand? Anything is not a big deal if you're used to it. Do you know? It's not a big deal! Zumu let out a long breath and tried to calm himself down. I'm an excellent trainer. I won't be angry if my Pokémon takes over. I won't. Damn, I'm so angry. Seeing Zumu silent and not saying a word, Snorlax simply played freely. Snorlax, the opponent, you are not strong enough. Go back and change to a stronger Dragonite. I can beat 10 people like you in my hometown every day. Dragonite was stunned when he heard it. Where is your hometown? Snorlax saw that Dragonite was not only not afraid, but also dared to ask where his hometown was. He immediately raised his head proudly, snorted coldly, and showed a very proud expression. Snorlax, my hometown, Ivory Villa. Too buzzy. Have you heard of it? Dragonite shook his head blankly. Ivory Villa? I really haven't heard of it. Is there a lot of strong people in that place? Seeing Dragonite shaking his head, Snorlax smiled proudly. Snorlax, in our Ivory Villa, there are many strong people. There are gap-toothed people, big heads, and some stupid big guys and big feet. You haven't heard of them. Dragonite was completely confused. What kind of place is this Ivory Villa? How come I have never heard of these Pokémon? Just as Dragonite was thinking hard, Snorlax moved. Snorlax, ninjutsu? The technique of multiplication. But, at the moment of using the Taishan pressure, Snorlax used the unique skill he had practiced for more than a month, the technique of multiplication. He made his butt several times larger than before, and then smashed it on the defenseless Dragonite. This move, with the bonus of the technique of multiplication, doubled its power. Dragonite wanted to resist, but Snorlax didn't give him a chance. He used an earthquake to take him away completely. Snorlax, cut. That's it. Talking to him is a waste of my time. The victorious Snorlax was very arrogant. He snorted coldly and turned away with disdain. He took the initiative to return to the Pokeball. Zumu was silent throughout the whole process, without saying a word, and quietly watched Snorlax kill his opponent. After Snorlax returned to his Pokeball, the next Pokeball bounced open with a bang. It's Lugia. Zumu. As soon as Lugia, who likes to be intimate with Zumu the most, came out, he rubbed Zumu's side. Zumu reached out and rubbed his head, and Lugia flew to the battlefield with satisfaction. When Passerby saw Lugia, he was dumbfounded. It is rumored that Zumu has a legendary elf and can fight against the legendary elf head-on without losing. Everyone has always thought it was hype. After all, Zumu's identity is here. Even if it is really hyped, it is normal. However, what Passerby didn't expect was that Zumu really had it. When seeing Lugia, Passerby's first reaction was not to send an elf to fight with it, but to take out his mobile phone to take a photo with it. Similarly, The referee took off his referee certificate and put it in his pocket. Then he took off his referee uniform and rushed directly to the field. Ask for a photo. This is Lugia, the legendary sea god. Today, I am lucky enough to see the legendary elf up close. So lucky. Sure enough, judging Zumu's game is an unexpected gain. I heard that the referee who penalized Zumu last time discovered an important secret of the male marsupial dragon of the marsupial family. His research results were directly noticed by the Alliance and he was specially approved as a researcher. Now I actually met Zumu's Lugia. Zumu, it's awesome. The scene instantly caused a sensation. With the appearance of Lugia, not only the players and referees, but also the audience in the stands became excited. They took out their mobile phones or cameras to take pictures. Fortunately, the security personnel did not lose their minds and were still trying their best to maintain order on the scene. Otherwise, the crazy audience might rush to the stadium to find Lugia for a close-up photo. Is this the arrangement of Koga Ninja? Zumu's forehead was full of black lines, and he was extremely speechless. Frogs are frogs after all. How can they understand human feelings? Letting Lugia play, isn't this equivalent to a martial arts master using the heavenly sword to fight a kid with a wooden stick? Bullying? Besides, Koga Ninja doesn't understand human curiosity and the nature of joining in the fun. With Lugia on the stage, it's hard to say whether this battle can go on smoothly. As expected, Frog is still unreliable. He can't just be a tool quietly. Really, without a trainer like me, you guys are always a little bit short. Never mind, I'll just help you out with reluctance. Ahem, everyone listen to me. Please calm down. Let's finish the game first. After the game, I'll give everyone time to get close to Lugia. It's agreed in advance. 3,000 for taking a photo, 10,000 for touching. If you want to hug Lugia, it's free for women and double for men. Chapter 166, Lugia's Growth. Double for men, free for women. Zumu's words instantly calmed down the male compatriots who were originally eager to take photos with Lugia. What the hell? Taking photos is also charged. Okay, everyone, please return to your seats and don't disturb the order of the game. The referee had already hung his referee certificate around his neck again. He had already taken a photo with Lugia, holding the microphone. The referee was the first to come out and began to maintain order. With the help of the referee, the security and staff on the scene also began to do their own work and restore order. Now, the game continues. Two small flags waved at the same time, and your referee has re-logged in. The game started again. Lugia vs. Passerby A's Raikou. Lugia, he is very slow. When fighting against such an opponent, you must always keep a distance and use your best special skills to defeat the opponent. Although Zumu is an old tool man, Lugia is a rookie after all, and his combat experience is not rich enough. It is necessary to give some pointers. Otherwise, what is the difference between Zumu as a trainer and not having him? I know, Xumu. Lugia responded obediently. He is the Pokemon that sticks to Xumu the most in the team. After following Xumu in the Meteor Falls secret realm, little Lugia has been sticking to Xumu inexplicably. This kind of liking is like a subconscious, which is hard to explain. In fact, Xumu sometimes wonders that little Lugia likes him so much, so he must be the offspring of Lugia. However, Lugia is the black shining Lugia. Why is this little guy no different from the normal Lugia? Raikou, Million Volts. Passerby chose to use his ultimate move at the beginning. Million Volts is different from Thunder. To a certain extent, the accuracy and hit rate of this trick greatly exceed Thunder. And compared to the slightly weaker skill power of 100,000 volts, Million Volts is definitely the top of the electric skills. Protect, it's an electric skill. Dragonite and Greninja should have taught you what kind of skills can restrain him. Xumu's command to Lugia and Arceus is generally guided. Let them think for themselves in battle. This can well cultivate the ability of the elves to fight independently, so he will not admit that he did this just to be lazy. I know, use the original force, Lugia said, and a light green protective shield enveloped him. Then, when the attack of the Million Volts ended, Lugia instantly used the special skill of the rock system, the original force. Several rocks controlled by superpowers kept circling around Lugia's body. One by one, They flew towards the Raikou on the ground. Raikou, use the steel tail to smash the rocks, and then use high-speed movement. Passerby A's command is still very unique. Raikou is one of the few elves that will slow down after evolution. The speed talent in the Pikachu period was almost all returned to nature after evolving into Raikou. Without the speed talent, fortunately, the skills are left. Raikou can still use the skills of the Pikachu period such as high-speed movement and lightning flash freely, block Lugia's attack, and then choose to speed up. It seems that this Passerby A has something. Zumu secretly evaluated it and nodded slightly to express his recognition of Passerby A. Of course, even if he has something, he is just a passerby who doesn't deserve a name. It doesn't mean much. Lugia, use Blizzard to block the opponent's movement, then use continuous Shadow Balls. Zumu was too lazy to drag it on. Although the strength of this Raikou is also the strength of the king, the difference in race value is here. The difference between trainers is also obvious. If this battle is dragged on, readers will scold me for watering down the word count. Got it, Lugia said, and according to Zumu's instructions, he used a blizzard to directly block the little fat lay who was running around on the ground. Then, continuous shadow balls were thrown at the little fat lay like they were free. Raikou has lost its combat ability. Please ask the contestant to change the Pokémon. The referee raised the small flag at the right time, signaling Lugia to stop attacking. Passerby let out a sigh of relief and took back the Raikou with a frustrated face. As expected, Zumu is strong. It's unlucky to meet such an opponent. I have worked hard in vain in the past few years. I can only hope that Zumu will win the championship quickly this year, and then I will compete again next year. Maybe there will be a chance to get a decent ranking, so that you can earn more money by taking on quests outside in the future. The last Pokémon, it's up to you. Gengar, the Pokémon of Passerby is of a more popular style. It can be seen that this is a child from a poor family, unlike some second-generation people who use the three Pokémons, quasi-gods, and mythical beasts at the slightest disagreement. It's simply not a human. Bang! Seeing the opponent, Arceus took the initiative to jump out of the Pokeball. It was obvious that Greninja had arranged everything. Zumu, the two-man trainer, just needed to stand still. Arceus, then there are some advantages when fighting Gengar. Among the 3 stone tablets that Arceus has fused, one is a poison-type stone tablet. In addition, he has mastered all the skills of Pokémons, so he should not suffer any loss in the battle against Gengar. Jangui, although the opponent looks cute, you can't underestimate him. Use Fear Face and Ghost Face. After all, it is Gengar at the peak of the king, so it is normal to use some combos. Zumu was not surprised at all. He watched Gengar disappear into the air and suddenly appeared in front of Arceus. Prepare to intimidate Arceus. Zumu smiled. Arceus, do you want to eat blueberry-flavored cake? Just one sentence. Arceus, who was almost scared, instantly had his eyes lit up. Blueberry flavor? Purple Gengar? Arceus bit Gengar's body subconsciously and bit it directly on Gengar's ethereal body. Gengar was stunned. He was scaring people, but was bitten back. With a scream, Gengar retreated to his own half of the court in embarrassment, rubbing his butt hard. However, Arceus, who was full of infinite desire for food, could not let Gengar go so easily. Speed and bite. Isn't it a combo? I can do it with my alpaca. Almost instantly, Arceus came behind Gengar and bit him fiercely. This bite directly bit Gengar's gas body in half. Passerby was heartbroken, and the referee was drooling. It was too cruel. This isn't a Pokémon battle. This is clearly alpaca hunting. Jangui has lost his ability to fight. Congratulations. Chapter 167. Here comes the experience. After the game, Zumu shook hands with Passerby in a friendly manner, encouraged each other, and was surrounded by the audience. Nothing else, just wanted to take a photo with Lugia. Money? It doesn't matter, you can have as much as you want. Zumu was surrounded by a group of spectators, especially the young ladies in the front row who kept squeezing Zumu. He actually felt a little impatient. That's right, being rubbed by these young and beautiful young ladies, Zumu actually felt impatient. This is not the idea that an LSP should have. Young man, you are in danger. Zumu quickly warned himself in his heart that such dangerous thoughts should not be allowed. Despite this, The unhappy mood in Zumu's heart became more and more serious. It's all Sirona's fault. Why are you so beautiful? It's all the fault of the old man of the Zoo family. Why did he give birth to a daughter so beautiful? It's all. After blaming, Zumu found that he didn't seem to be in danger. It's just that he saw more beauties and his taste became more picky. Arceus, teleport. Let's go back. Just when Zumu was about to leave the venue and go back to the villa, justice from the sky. Since you asked sincerely, then I will be merciful and tell you, in order to prevent the world from being. A man and a woman shouted the Rocket Team's iconic slogan and landed from the sky. Zumu looked closely and found that they were not the clowns Masashi and Kojiro, nor were they Yamadu and Xiasenji. I said my name is Xiasenji. The visitors were two strangers in black uniforms. Shut up. Are you Team Rocket? Zumu shouted, and the originally noisy crowd instantly quieted down. The audience was also surprised. Who were these two idiots who fell from the sky and shouted inexplicable slogans? Don't interrupt us, okay? You will know whether we are Team Rocket or not after listening to it. That's right, start over. The two of them cooperated tacitly as if they were performing a crosstalk, and posed again, saying, since you asked sincerely, then I will tell you with great mercy. To prevent the world from being destroyed, to protect world peace, to implement love and true evil, a cute and charming villain. I am Cannon Fodder B. I am Rogue C. We are Team Rocket traveling through the galaxy. White hole. White. Zumu couldn't stand it anymore, and said again, can your names be more formal? After all, Masashi Kojiro is better than you, right? Cannon Fodder B heard what Zumu said, and immediately retorted unhappily. Bah! You are talking nonsense. What level is Masashi Kojiro? Can he compare with the two of us? On the side, Rogue C, who was still insisting on posing, said seriously, Cannon Fodder B, our slogan has been interrupted again. Cannon Fodder B was stunned when he heard this. He immediately said, that won't work. Let's do it again. Rogue C echoed, okay, let's do it again. How can our Rocket Team's slogan be interrupted? We must finish it. Okay, I dare not say anything more. Please forgive me. Zumu looked at the two members of the Rocket Team with a smile and asked, what are you doing here? Cannon Fodder B sneered when he heard this. You are asking even though you know the answer. Our Rocket Team aims to capture rare Pokémon. Of course, we are here to capture your Lugia. Zumu was stunned. Can you still be so shameless? Capture my Lugia from me. You must know that if you throw a Pokeball to a Pokémon with a master in the game, it will be blocked. Now you say you want to capture my Lugia. Why don't you capture me? Hahaha, okay, you are really interesting. Without asking why the Rocket Team appeared here, Zumu already had a general understanding of this world. I won't keep you in suspense here. According to Zumu's speculation, the world that was fighting with Zumu's cheap dad at the border should be the original world in the anime. So it's not surprising that Team Rocket could sneak over here. Bulbasaur, go ahead and teach them a lesson. Don't hit them too hard, just hit them away. Following the fine tradition of a certain wisdom, Team Rocket can't be killed for giving away experience. Hit them away. Then let them come back to give experience again and again. When it comes to monster spawning, it's still a certain wisdom that knows how to spawn. Zumu must learn this spirit of thriftiness. Tone, got it? Zumu. Bulbasaur was obedient and didn't go too far. He waited until Cannon Fodder B and Rogue C released their own Pokémon before he started to take action. He took out a huge Miracle Seed from the seeds behind him. Miracle Seeds enhance the power of Grass-type skills. According to this amount of Bulbasaur, it should be able to more than double. Then, with a move of Sunshine Flame, Bulbasaur directly blasted two people from Team Rocket away. There was no chance to explain, and he took them away with one move. Clean and neat. Well done, Bulbasaur. I hope they can be as strong as Kojiro and Masashi, and come more often to give me experience. After Zumu finished speaking, he saw the white light of evolution on Bulbasaur's body. While feeling happy, he couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, Team Rocket is still professional in giving experience. The previous special training and competitions failed to make Bulbasaur evolve, but Team Rocket gave it. The garlic toad turned into a sprouted garlic toad. Isn't it amazing, Bulbasaur? Congratulations. After rubbing Bulbasaur's big head, Zumu took him back to the Pokeball. Then, under the gaze of the audience, Arceus used teleportation, and Zumu chose to run away directly. There are so many young ladies, I don't look at them. I just play. I don't date people. I just play. I don't make money. I just play. Humming a little tune, Zumu leaned back and fell on his big bed. Team Rocket was able to sneak in and cause trouble for him, even though they were just two non-staff members like Kojiro and Masashi, a bunch of lousy dishes. But it was enough to shock Zumu. Something must have happened at the border. Is my mother okay? Perhaps, after the World King tournament is over, I should also go to the border. The mystery of Shirona's life experience should also be completely solved at that time. At night, Zumu suddenly missed Shirona. He took out his mobile phone and made a video call. Coincidentally, Shirona had just finished taking a shower. There is still a time difference between Western Europe and the East. Swallowing a mouthful of saliva, Zumu stared at Shirona on the mobile phone screen infatuatedly. It turned out that there was nothing wrong with him. The problem was with those young ladies before. It was definitely because they were not pretty enough. Chapter 168 Preliminary Round 3. After spending some time with Shirona, Zumu reluctantly hung up the video. Lying on the bed, he quietly recalled the charm of Shirona just after she came out of the bath, and slowly fell asleep. The next morning, the first thing Zumu did when he woke up was to change his underwear. Those who understand will understand, and those who don't understand can read the comments. The happiness of having a girlfriend is accompanied by a certain amount of pain. Let's get to the point. Today is the last preliminary match, and the winner of this round will become the top 16. The next match will be broadcast live on TV. This is also an opportunity for many top trainers to gain fame and show their faces. Therefore, the competition in today's preliminary round will be quite fierce. I don't know how Teacher Yang is doing. I haven't had any contact with him these 2 days. Zumu muttered casually and came to the league center to have breakfast. Coincidentally, Teacher Yang was also at the league center. Yoa, isn't this our seed player Zumu? Seeing Zumu, Teacher Yang came over with a smile, holding breakfast. Zumu raised his head and greeted him, and continued to concentrate on eating. After finishing breakfast, he wiped his mouth and asked, "How is Mr. Yang? Are you confident in today's game?" Yang Qianqian still raised her head proudly and said confidently, "Of course, as long as I don't meet a little monster like you, I'm not afraid. After all, I'm also a genius." Seeing this, Zumu chuckled. Indeed, they are all geniuses, only I am a monster. At noon, Zumu stood on the battlefield again, with a faint sense of invincibility. How could the seeded players in the A War Zone encounter any decent opponents in the preliminaries? But they were all some unknown small shrimps, just giving Zumu experience. Red player, Feng Cheng Zumu. Blue player, Dan Cheng Kuo. Both sides can use 3 elves. Please release the elves. The referee explained the rules as usual. This time the referee was not the same person who took a photo with Lugia in the last game. It is said that the guy was reported by the referee inspection team after he went back last time. During the match, this guy actually took off his referee card and took a photo with the player's Pokémon on the court. He is a professional scum. This kind of person is not worthy of being a referee. After being fired, the referee of the previous game posted a photo of himself in close contact with Lugia on the internet. It is said that this photo was auctioned for 10 million league coins, which is money that this referee cannot earn in his lifetime. In an instant, the referees who were originally gloating regretted it. It turns out that judging Zumu's game can really bring good things. The main reason why the referee of this game can stand here is that he has an awesome father. With full expectations, the referee looked at Zumu. "Come on, Zumu, bring me good luck, please," the referee said silently in his heart, but he didn't show it on the surface. Zumu, I finally met you. As a named extra, Kuoyi must be extraordinary. He didn't release his Pokémon immediately, but looked at Zumu with a smile. Zumu felt uneasy when he was being looked at. Does this player named Kuo have any special hobbies? Well, you met me. What's wrong? Zumu asked Kuo in a calm tone. He was in a good mood today and didn't scold anyone. Seeing Zumu's question, Kuo sneered. What's wrong? Nothing. I just want to become famous. As he said that, Kuo released his first Pokémon, the Vine King Snake. At the same time, Zumew's Pokémon took the initiative to jump out of the Pokeball. This time, it was Dragonite that was fighting. Seeing Dragonite, Kuo showed his weird smile again and muttered, "Dragonite, it's that reckless man, right?" Seeing this, Zumew also guessed the situation of Kuo. Isn't he just a dog coin who has been hiding his strength for many years and is ready to make a big splash? There are dogs like you among my Pokémon. Charizard, why don't you just read my ID number? Do you know my Pokémon very well? Zumew was calm. As a qualified trainer, he should always despise his opponent psychologically, but pay attention to his opponent tactically. I don't need to elaborate on the importance of mentality during the battle. Everyone knows it. If you understand, please write your understanding in the comment area. Thank you. Of course, I have known all your Pokémon before. I came here to defeat you today. This year's seeded player, hehe. In fact, it's just that. Kuo was not bragging. He really watched all the game videos of Zumew. He has a basic understanding of most of Zumew's Pokémon. For example, Greninja's Shadow Clone Technique plus Spiral Water Shuriken, Charizard's Evil Flame Dragon and Snorlax's Tai Chi, Multiplication Technique, etc. Kuo knew all of this. While being shocked by Zumew's powerful strength and strange moves, Kuo himself also made the most reliable preview of today's game specifically for Zumew's situation. Next, what Kuo has to do is to defeat Zumew, become the strongest dark horse of this session, and make it to the World King Tournament to become famous in one fell swoop. The ambitious Kuo became more and more excited the more he thought about it, and he wished he could defeat Zumew right now and kill him. To achieve his own dark horse counterattack, Vine King Snake, Chlorophyte Storm. Without saying much, he started with a big move. Seeing this situation, Zumew also roughly knew the characteristics of this Vine King Snake, which was eccentric, commonly known as singing the opposite tune. When the ability level of the elves with eccentric characteristics changes, the change amount is reversed, the rising ability becomes a decline, and the declining ability becomes an increase. I believe that most people who have played the Pokémon game know that this eccentric Vine King Snake is simply a magic weapon for the team. The side effect of Chlorophyte Storm is to greatly reduce the special attack of the elves. When it comes to Vine King Snake, the reduction becomes an increase. It can be said that as long as she is given 2 rounds of time, Vine King Snake can definitely kill all 6 opponents. However, this is also the weakness of Vine King Snake. If she needs to start at the time. Zumew sneered. It was just a little eccentric. Did he really regard it as a killer? No way, no way. Are all the trainers in this world so ignorant? Dragonite, Speed. At the moment when the Vine King Snake was about to use Chlorophyte Storm, Dragonite's Speed, as a super priority skill, directly attacked the Vine King Snake. Bang! With a loud bang, the release of Vine King Snake's skill was interrupted by Dragonite. Don't relax, just use the big word explosion. Let her feel the heat of the fire at close range. Roasting the snake. Zumew roared, and Dragonite took action immediately. Boom. Big word explosion, a direct hit. Chapter 169. This is the Dark Horse. The big explosion hit at close range, and the Vine King Snake gasped, and its originally gorgeous body became a little charred. The noble appearance disappeared in an instant. Vine King Snake. Photosynthesis. Seeing that the Chlorophyte Storm's enhanced team-pushing tactics could not be implemented, Kuo hurriedly asked the Vine King Snake to distance himself and use photosynthesis. This is also the reason why the Vine King Snake can kill the team in seconds despite its weak physique. When her special attack is enhanced to the extreme by the Chlorophyte Storm, whether it is the billion-ton absorption or the Dragon Wave, it will be a devastating damage. Coupled with a trick of photosynthesis, it can be said that in the game, the only thing that can defeat the Vine King Snake is the PP value. But it's a pity, this is not a game. Zumew saw Kuo using a restorative skill and sneered immediately. That's it? Question mark. You are still young. You don't understand the essence of strengthening. Come on, Dragonite. Let's show him what is called the enhanced team-pushing flow. Dragonite immediately nodded to show that he understood, gave Zumew a reassuring look, and flew directly into the sky, letting the Vine King snake recover its strength. Dragonite uses Dragon Dance in the air. Isn't that just strengthening? Ha ha ha. I am the originator of strengthening the team. Dragonite. Dragonite. Have you heard of it? No. Vine King snake. Chlorophyte storm. Seeing Dragonite using Dragon Dance crazily in the air, Kuo was anxious. After the photosynthesis of Vine King snake ended, he quickly ordered the use of Chlorophyte storm to stop Dragonite from continuing to strengthen. However, Dragonite had already used Dragon Dance 3 times in this short time. Seeing that Vine King snake did not learn its lesson and was about to use Chlorophyte storm, he immediately rushed up at a great speed. Boom! A huge collision sounded, and Vine King snake was directly knocked back by Dragonite. Yo! That's it? Dragonite curled his lips and looked at the seriously injured Vine King snake on the ground with disdain. Dragonite, don't attack. Continue Dragon Dance. Zumu did not let Dragonite finish off, but cruelly asked Dragonite to continue using Dragon Dance. Kuo was completely dumbfounded. Still playing like this? Aren't you afraid that I can turn the tables? Vine King snake. Photosynthesis. Kuo certainly won't give up. Thinking of how he had trained for so long in the deep mountains of the secret realm and suffered so much, he was waiting for this day to become famous in the King Challenge. Not to mention the monster Zumu. Even if the evil genius stood here, Kuo must defeat him and win the final championship. Vine King snake, let's not give up. Use Chlorophyte storm again. Zumu didn't say anything. Dragonite knew what to do. Sure enough, at the moment when Vine King snake used Chlorophyte storm, Dragonite used speed again. Right now, Vine King snake used protection. Kuo showed a smile of conspiracy and shouted suddenly. Vine King snake also cooperated with him tacitly, changed his moves instantly, used protection, and blocked Dragonite's speed. Bind, catch him for me. At such a close distance, Dragonite would definitely not be able to avoid Vine King snake's binding. I saw the Vine King snake coil its tail and directly wrap around Dragonite, and then began to exert its strength. Ugh! Dragonite found itself entangled by the Vine King snake, and looked back at Zumu helplessly. Zumu also spread his hands helplessly. Alas, you are just not honest. It would have been fine if I had just been a little roasted snake and left the stage obediently. You insist on struggling to death and fighting back desperately. Isn't this courting death and embarrassing yourself? Zumu said, and sighed again. Kuo on the opposite side was confused when he heard this. No, it was obviously my Vine King snake that entangled your Dragonite. Now you are at a disadvantage. Why do you look so unlucky? What's going on? Don't pretend here. The victory of the first game. The Vine King snake and I will accept it. Vine King snake. Parasitic seeds. Kuo really couldn't figure out what Zumu meant. He simply didn't want to think about it, and ordered the Vine King snake to continue attacking. However, reality is always cruel. The reason why Zumu is officially recognized as a seeded player is that he has the strength that should be possessed at this level. And this Kuo Yi, after all, is a country bumpkin from the deep mountains and old forests. His understanding of Zumu is limited to a few games. Okay, Dragonite, stop teasing him. Just run away and use the reverse scale to end the battle. By the way, be gentle. Don't kill this little snake. Zumu had to remind him. Once Xu belong enters the fighting state, he can't control himself. He always uses the heaviest hand and throws the hardest punch. I'm afraid this little Vine King snake can't stand Dragonite's tossing. After Zumu finished speaking, Dragonite finally started. The previous battle was actually him teasing this Vine King snake for fun. If he really wanted to fight, he would just use the reverse scale and run away to end the battle easily. But this way of ending the battle is too violent and bloody. Dragonite was worried about hurting this Vine King snake, so he chose to attack with big character explosion and super speed, and did not use his killer. I showed mercy to you, but you want to kill me. I'm sorry. Looking at the Vine King snake tightly wrapped around him, Dragonite showed a cruel smile. Yo! With a dragon roar, a light red halo floated on the surface of Dragonite's body. The battle officially began. The Vine King snake hadn't reacted yet and was about to use the parasitic seed to attack Dragonite, but he suddenly felt a huge force. Dragonite grabbed the body of the Vine King snake with one hand and pulled it off his body. Then, Dragonite looked at the helpless Vine King snake with a blank expression. Bang! Slamming the Vine King snake to the ground, Dragonite shook its neck, grabbed the Vine King snake's head, and lifted her up from the ground again. Bang! Slamming the Vine King snake to the ground again. This time it directly cracked the ground of the competition venue. It can be seen how much force Dragonite used. The Vine King snake didn't even have time to scream. Dragonite grabbed her tail again. Bang! Swinging the Vine King snake's body in the air and smashing it to the ground again. Just like an old man wielding a whip in the square, Dragonite grabbed the tail of the Vine King snake and used it as a whip. He smashed it to the ground again and again. Bang! 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 For a while, the scene was full of blood and flesh. Fortunately, the Vine King snake has no bones. Otherwise it would most likely not be able to escape with comminuted fractures all over its body. Vine King snake. Kuo was stunned. Is this Dragonite a lunatic? With such a cruel attack, is there any hope for the Vine King snake? Referee, we admit defeat in the first battle. Don't fight anymore. Seeing that Dragonite had no intention of stopping, Kuo hurriedly called the referee, indicating that he admitted defeat in this round. Vine King snake forfeit. Contestant Zumu, please ask Dragonite to stop. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170, A Giant Dragonite Fighting 3. Dragonite, that's enough. Zumu stopped Dragonite after hearing what the referee said. After this period of training, Dragonite has been able to perfectly enter the state of Rampage plus reverse scale and remain rational. It can exit this state at any time. However, the only drawback is that once it enters the state of Rampage plus reverse scale, the fighting factor in Dragonite's body will awaken, and Dragonite will involuntarily become violent. Taking a long breath, Dragonite threw the Vine King snake on the ground like throwing away garbage. The red halo on its body slowly disappeared, and Dragonite exited the Rampage plus reverse scale state and returned to the academic dragon mode. After seeing Dragonite stop attacking, the medical team of the competition team quickly took out a stretcher, carried the Vine King snake away directly, and sent it to the ICA for emergency treatment. If it was too late, this little snake might have died in this life. Zumu, I will never reconcile with you. Kuo's teeth were trembling with anger. He didn't expect that one day his favorite Vine King snake would be beaten like this. Zumu and Dragonite, I must teach you a lesson. Roaring in his heart, Kuo sent out his next Pokémon, Dragonite. Lapras, defeat this Dragonite. We want to avenge the King Serpent. Dragonite is a docile Pokémon, with a weak fighting spirit and very friendly to humans. But Kuo's Dragonite is a little different. Just like the Heracross of a certain Zip, it is particularly warlike. Dragonite had seen the scene of Dragonite beating the King Serpent in the Pokeball just now. Now, it is time for him, as a partner, to go on the field to avenge the King Serpent. Dirty with a long cry, a strong fighting spirit appeared in Dragonite's eyes. Staring at Dragonite, he said, I can be a 10 dragon-type Pokémon like you in a year. Dragonite had regained its former academic character at this time. Seeing Dragonite suddenly say something harsh to him, he was slightly stunned. Is this Dragonite a distant relative of Zumu's Snorlax? Zumu, did you hear that? This guy is bragging. Zumu also laughed. This Dragonite is quite interesting. He can actually brag. We should let Snorlax come out and talk to him. Let him know what it means to brag without paying taxes. I will brag as much as I can. Dragonite, how about you talk to him? Zumu said with a smile. Dragonite shook his head slowly. No, let's make a quick decision. There is still an opponent to be dealt with. Dragonite said, and directly activated the Rampage plus reverse scale state. A light red halo appeared on his body, and Dragonite was ready to rush. Dirty, quick decision? Who gave you the confidence to make a quick decision? Let me show you. I have killed countless dragons with my freezing ray. Dragonite talked like a chatterbox, and fired a freezing ray. However, This is just a big mouth. Zumiu snarls, that is bragging on the basis of his own strength. This Dragonite is just a braggart. After 6 dragon dances, Dragonite, who had strengthened his strength to the extreme, waved his hand and Dragonite's freezing light was instantly shattered. Yo, that's it? With a sneer, Dragonite rushed to Dragonite at a lightning speed. At close range, 100,000 volts plus thunder plus lightning punch equals Chidori. This useless skill that was used to show off in front of Melodic was mastered by Dragonite after more than a month of training, and it would not hurt itself. Boom. When the thunder and lightning gathered on Dragonite's fist, when Dragonite's fist hit Dragonite's head, bang, a 10 square meter pit was smashed on the ground. Dragonite fell on the pit, motionless. Half of his face was covered with blood, obviously caused by Dragonite's punch. The medical staff brought up the stretcher again and sent the unconscious Dragonite to the ICU. The referee swallowed his saliva, and looked at Dragonite, who had regained his academic status, and felt a chill on his spine. This Pokémon is too violent. Kuo was completely stunned. The miserable state of Vine King Snake and Dragonite made this middle-aged man who was originally full of confidence feel the malice from the whole world. It shouldn't be like this. Zumiu's Pokémon is only at the level of a Heavenly King. My Pokémon are all at the peak of Heavenly King, half-step masters. Why can't I beat him? Go. Lizard King, Mega Evolution. Kuo, who had come to his senses with the last Pokémon, placed his hope on Lizard King. He hoped that his initial partner could win back 3 games in a row and defeat Zumiu. The Mega-evolved Lizard King blinked his eyes, like a hunter in the forest, and looked at Dragonite fiercely. It seemed that he would launch the most ferocious attack at any time. This guy has the strength of an early master after evolution. Not bad. Zumiu was a little surprised. He didn't expect that in addition to Yankiankian, he could meet an opponent of this level in this Heavenly King challenge. Dragonite, don't hold back, we'll transform too. Gigantamax. Zumiu roared and raised his arm with the Gigantamax wristband. A stream of Gigantamax energy emerged from the wristband, wrapping up Dragonite's entire body. With the emergence of Gigantamax energy, Dragonite began to slowly grow. When it became even bigger, it looked like the giant Dragonite in the anime. Dragonite, which was dozens of meters tall, directly overturned the roof of the competition venue, looking down at the Lizard King on the ground with contemptuous eyes. Dragonite smiled rarely. The audience, the referee, and the opponent Kuano were all dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? Gigantamax? Who knows what's going on? Can you give me an answer? Hurry, waiting online. It's urgent. My opponent suddenly Gigantamaxed his elf. How should I fight? The referee was shocked and ecstatic at the same time. Sure enough, good things happened when Zumiu's match was penalized. If you don't believe me, just look. I actually became a witness to this new change. I am definitely the world's #1 person besides Zumiu who has observed the Gigantamax Dragonite so closely. The referee thought in his mind, but his hands did not slow down at all. He quickly put away his referee certificate and took out the high-definition camera he had prepared in advance. The referee took an intimate photo with Dragonite's feet. It seemed that the photo was not enough, and the referee actually released his toucan, flew directly into the air and took a frontal photo with Dragonite. This photo is absolutely priceless. Zumiu looked at the referee's weird behavior and was very speechless. Usually he bullied others, but when he came to participate in this King Challenge, he was actually fleeced by these referees. But Zumiu couldn't say anything now. After all, he was the referee who presided over the penalty, and he couldn't afford to offend him. However, don't forget who Zumiu is. A small heart, a broad chest, and a wide intestine are synonymous with Zumiu. Chapter 171, Special Invitation from Magic City College. When the giant Dragonite stomped on his opponent, Kuo's mentality completely collapsed. After years of hard work, training in the mountains and forests, once he came out of the mountains, everyone knew him, but unfortunately he was just a background board. Kuo was dumbfounded, silently took back the elves, and left sadly. After this battle, the news of the giant Dragonite and Dynamax caused a huge sensation in the whole world. Experts and scholars contacted Zumiu one after another, hoping to learn about Dynamax. This is another important process in the development of elves. It can be said that if Dynamax can be popularized, it will be a new fighting method that is more important than Mega Evolution, including the old principle Zhao Tan Yang. Not only the East, but also experts from Western Europe came from afar, just to visit Zumu and get the first-hand news of Dynamax. Auntie, are you here to ask about Dynamax too? There is a 3-day break between the preliminaries and the main competition. During these 3 days, Zumu was annoyed by these people. In desperation, he simply compiled a set of theoretical research on Dynamax. Put the words currently unreproducible in the title of the research. Seeing Zulu coming to visit, Zumu smiled and opened the door. I thought it was those old guys who were asking me about Dynamax again. Zumu brought his aunt to the villa, brought her a glass of juice, sat down on the sofa, and said a little tiredly. Seeing that his nephew was so tired, Zulu said with some heartache, then ignore those guys. Okay, Auntie is here to tell you something good. Like coaxing a child, Zulu slowly walked behind Zumu, put her hands on his shoulders and kneaded them gently, so that Zumu could relax as much as possible. Among the 7 aunts, Zulu ranked 5th and is currently an associate professor at Magic City College. It is worthy of the Zoo family's genes. Young and promising, top-level talents are basic operations. Among the 7 sisters of the Zoo family, the one who is currently doing the worst should be the 6th aunt Zoolander. But even so, Zoolander is one of the most talented girls in the field of breeders. She is the future star of hope for the entire breeder world. Countless old antiques are vying to take Zoolander as a disciple. What good news! Zumu enjoyed the massage from his aunt, and gradually relaxed. The original irritability and unhappiness in his heart gradually disappeared. After you took the unified exam, have you decided which college to go to? Zulu asked with a smile. I want to go to Magic City College. Shirona wanted to go to Oriental College before, but I persuaded her to go to Magic City with me. Zumu thought about it and said. Seeing Zumu say this, Zulu was relieved. She smiled playfully. Then Aunt is here to fulfill your wish. The special recruitment quota for Magic City College has been decided. As she said that, Zulu took out a document from her bag. This is the special recruitment document. Take a look. If you think it's okay, you can sign it. Zumu looked up and looked at Zulu with a little surprise. He had thought that he was so outstanding that he should be able to enter Magic City College without taking the exam. If it doesn't work, go to the admissions office of Magic City College to make trouble. Whoever disagrees, single challenge. Of course, this is just Zumu's own thinking. He can't do such a reckless thing. I have no problem. What about my girlfriend? Zumu didn't even look at the document handed over by Zulu. He signed his name on it. Zulu tapped her chin with her finger, obviously thinking. This time, in addition to telling you about the special recruitment, I also received an invitation from Magic City College. I hope you can visit Magic City College when you are free. The dean hopes to meet you in person. Zumu was slightly stunned when he heard this. The dean of Magic City College wants to see me? Is there something? Zumu was a little confused. Although he was very awesome, he had almost never met the dean of Magic City College. What was there to see? I'm not sure. After all, I'm just responsible for passing on a message. Zulu shook her head to indicate that she didn't know. However, you can talk to him about Sirona in person. You two are so outstanding. The dean shouldn't refuse. Zumu heard what his aunt said, and it seemed to be the same truth. Sirona is the little princess of Western Europe. She is also very powerful. She is the only one who defeated Zumu twice in the official competition. It seems that there is no reason for the academy not to recruit Sirona. As for myself, there is no need to say more. The strongest rookie trainer is about to successfully appear on TV and become the first super rookie who has entered the professional arena since high school and has the strength of a king. He can subdue the beast, be recognized by the alpaca, defeat the infinite hyena, and defeat the 3 sacred beasts incarnated by the mysterious totem. It is simply unreasonable for the Magic City Academy not to recruit me. Thinking about it, Zumu laughed out loud. Zulu, who was watching on the side, was a little puzzled. Arriving at the Magic City Academy, Zumu looked at the surrounding environment and couldn't help sighing in his heart. Indeed, It is worthy of being one of the top 3 colleges in the East. Whether it is the scenery or the environment, it is no worse than Yang College. Even, just looking at the area and buildings of the academy, it is more than one level stronger than Yang College. Hello, Zoomu. I'm the Dean, Li Lun. The Dean of Magic City College, contrary to Zoomu's expectation, is a young man in his 30s. He is not some old man with a white beard who is nearly 60 years old. Hello, Dean. When Zulu arrived at the Dean's office, she stayed at the door and did not go in. Zoomu sat on the chair opposite Li Lun, waiting for his next words. I invited you here mainly to talk to you about the enrollment in the second half of the year. You should have received our special recruitment documents. Zoomu. Li Lun's voice was very gentle, and coupled with his dress, he looked like a standard scholar. Well, my aunt has shown me the documents. Zoomu nodded. Okay, then the conveniences our college can provide you are the 3 points on the document. You can ask for leave at any time, and the college will ensure that you graduate smoothly. All the information and research of the college are open to you, and all your information will be kept confidential, Li Lun said, showing a kind smile to Zoomu, and continued, so, if classmate Zoomu has any other requirements, you can raise them and we can talk about it. To be honest, the benefits that Magic City College gave to Zoomu did not say anything about top-level elves. There was no mention of resource tilting to guarantee how much benefit Zoomu would get. But these 3 seemingly ordinary points were full of great sincerity. Chapter 172, Like repels like, opposites attract. To be honest, I really benefit from the 3 conveniences proposed by the college, and I have always wanted to come to the Magic City College to study. However, I do have a small request, and I hope the college can agree to it. Zoomu was also a little embarrassed. The Magic City College was so sincere to him, and it was indeed too much for him to make another request, but there was no way. For Sirona, Zoomu had to fight for a special recruitment quota for her even if he didn't care about his face. The Magic City College was like Tsinghua University and Peking University in Zoomu's previous life. For a talent like Zoomu, they didn't say they would give you a car or money, but told you, as long as you come, the school guarantees that you can graduate smoothly, and you can set your class time at will. Moreover, all the information of the school is fully open to you, and all your personal information is kept confidential. Isn't this sincerity? If it were in the past, Zoomu would have been very excited to receive admission from Tsinghua University and Peking University, so how could he dare to negotiate any conditions? But people always have to look forward. 30 years in the East, 30 years in the West. The world Zoomu is in now is no longer the world before. Zoomu now is no longer the ordinary person before. The background and talent of Zoomu all determine Zoomu's current status and his qualifications to negotiate with the college. Zoomu, you say. Dean Li Lun did not show any arrogance or impatience. He always had a calm smile on his face and let Zoomu say his request. My little unwelcome request is not too difficult. Dean, you know Sirona, the daughter of Chief Zayak here, and my fiancé. Li Lun nodded to show that he knew. The relationship between Zoomu and Sirona has never been deliberately concealed. As long as someone is interested, it is not difficult to know. So you want to get a special enrollment quota for Sirona? Li Lun asked back. Zoomu nodded repeatedly. That's what I mean. The main reason is that I can't come to school by myself, so I'll put my fiancé in another college. So I hope Dean Li can allow this matter. Li Lun pursed his lips, tapped the desk lightly with his fingers, and hesitated for a while. No problem, Zoomu, but you have an additional condition. I also hope you can agree to a request from our college. Zoomu was stunned when he heard this. Dean Li Lun doesn't seem to be as honest as he looks. How should I put it? He just looks like a scholar. Please speak, Dean. Seeing Zoomu looking at him in surprise, Li Lun smiled slightly and didn't care. They will spend a lot of time together in the future, and Zoomu will slowly understand what kind of person he is. Now, there is no need to rush. I hope that you and Sirona will represent the college in the annual East-West College Exchange competition. Zoomu was speechless when he heard it. Why do we have to play in the competition again? So annoying. What can be compared? Is it interesting to participate in such a competition where you know you will definitely win? Huh? Okay, I can't agree to the exchange competition. However, Dean, you also know the situation on Shirona's side, so I won't say much." Although Zumu complained in his heart, Li Lun's request was not excessive. "A special recruit of the Magic City College, it's not too much for you to play in a few exchange competitions? Besides, as a member of the school, it is reasonable for you to fight for the school." Zumu had no room to refuse, not to mention that he was trying to get a special recruitment quota for Shirona. While agreeing, Zumu did not forget to try his best to get some more benefits, secretly hinting to Li Lun that Shirona was the little princess of Western Europe. Li Lun naturally understood what Zumu meant and said with a smile, "I see, Shirona's special recruitment is the same as yours, with the same 3 conditions." Zumu nodded with satisfaction. "Thank you, Dean. If there is nothing else, I will go back first." "Well, it's okay. Go back slowly and let your aunt drive safely," Li Lun habitually instructed. Zumu walked out of the dean's office with his head down and saw Zulu waiting at the door. "And, Dean Li wants you to drive safely." When Zumu said this, he kept staring at Zulu's eyes, trying to see something unusual. Fortunately, Zulu just nodded slightly, not caring about this sentence at all, nor caring about Li Lun's concern. It seems that the aunt should not be interested in this guy. This Dean doesn't look as serious as he seems, and this guy actually wants to take advantage of my aunt and drive safely. Your whole family should pay attention to safety. Bastard, I'll remember you. This time we're talking about business. I'll be polite to you. Next time we meet, if you still want to be my uncle, don't blame me for being ruthless." Zumu thought viciously in his heart and left with Zulu. In the office, Li Lun waited for Zumu to leave, then took off his glasses that symbolized a scholar. He took out a box of cigarettes from the drawer and lit them. While puffing out smoke, a wicked smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Zumu is an interesting guy. I'll leave a good impression on you when we first meet. Next time, I'll let you know what a scholar is." Bargaining with me. It's been many years since anyone dared to do this. Ha 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 ha. Li Lun was laughing, and suddenly he was choked by a puff of smoke, and started coughing violently again. Ahem, damn it, where there is this little devil, there is really no good thing. Ahem. Coughing continuously, Li Lun remembered Zumu's little devil characteristics. Subconsciously, he blamed Zumu for the fact that he was choked. "Wait for you to enter the school, stinky boy." The 2 old silver coins who met for the first time and got along very well were secretly cursing each other in their hearts at this time. There is a saying that goes, like repels like, and opposites attract. The reason why Zumu felt uncomfortable looking at Li Lun, the young and promising dean, is because they are the same kind of people. As for who will suffer and who will take advantage when they meet next time, let it go with fate. And, don't be busy, I'll just go to the Alliance Center to have a bite later. Zulu knew that her nephew had no game today, so after leaving the college, she drove Zumu to her home. She was going to cook for Zumu herself and make a delicious meal, as a way to cheer up her nephew for tomorrow's game. No, how can things outside be as clean as those at home? Play with your phone here for a while, the food will be ready soon, and you can go back after eating. If it's too late, stay at your aunt's place, I've cleaned up the room next door for you. Zulu's voice came from the kitchen. The dirty ones are dirty themselves. Chapter 173. Zumu is on TV. It should be said that Zulu's cooking skills are absolutely impeccable. Zumu finished 3 bowls of rice and let Arceus, a foodie, out to taste it. Because there was a competition the next day, Zumu did not stay overnight and took Zulu's car back to his villa. The next morning, Zumu never thought that he would become famous one day. Although Zumu was on the news and the world reported the incident of the Outlaw organization before, it was just an incident and was soon forgotten by the public. Except for those high-level people who remembered Zumu, the world's top relationship household, most ordinary people still have no impression of Zumu's name. But soon, they will have an impression. As the annual top event in the East, the attention of the King Challenge is absolutely phenomenal. During the King Challenge every year, all movies or entertainment programs will choose to postpone their release to avoid the limelight. In this world dominated by elves, The King Challenge is the most favorite program of the people, no one else. That's why there are many people like Ko, who would rather hone their skills in the mountains and forests for many years, bear the title of top trainer, and suffer all the sufferings of the world, just to show off my talent in the King Challenge one day. Today is the main competition of the King Challenge. There are 8 matches in total, and the organizers divided these 8 matches into 4 days. Zumu is the first match of the first day. As a seeded player, he fought all the way from the A war zone. He is the first to play. No surprise. Red side, Fengcheng Zumu. Contestant Zumu is the young hero who has become a household name recently. He wiped out the Outlaw organization alone, holding the legendary Lugia. Although he is rookie trainer, he can master the dynamics. The commentator of the main competition is an old employee with rich commentary experience. He prepared a limerick to introduce Zumu long before the game. As expected, as soon as this poem came out, the audience quickly and intuitively had the most basic understanding of Zumu. When the camera shifted to the picture of Zumu, the audience deeply remembered this young man named Zumu, a rookie trainer, participating in the King Challenge, and making it all the way to the main competition. This young man is simply a legend, and even novels dare not write about him like this. In addition to Zumu's previous glorious history and his appearance that already attracts fans, it can be said that with just this short shot, Zumu has successfully attracted countless fans. This is the charm of traffic, and this is the benefit of participating in the King Challenge. Contestant Zumu, please say hello to the camera and the audience present and the audience watching the live broadcast on the internet. The commentator is definitely an old man. After leading the atmosphere, he interacted directly with Zumu, increasing Zumu's popularity in disguise. This kind of operation with full emotional intelligence made Zumu give a good review in his heart. At the same time, it was not only Zumu who gave a good review, but also some big guys who were paying attention to this game at this time. For example, a chief in Western Europe was staring at his mobile phone while muttering bad things about Zumu. A chief in the East was also staring at his mobile phone with a smug smile on his face. From time to time, he would mutter, "My grandson takes after me, so damn handsome." For another example, on the border, a couple was watching the live broadcast with a slow network. Although the screen was stuck, a shameless man still said proudly, "This is my son, ha ha ha. He is definitely handsome like me." Similarly, Zumu's 7 aunts, except Zoolaner and Zulu, were watching the game on site. The other 5 were also staring at their phones, smiling proudly from time to time. "This is my nephew, so handsome." These big guys were looking at Zumu, but the interaction of this commentator to win favor also made the big guys remember this little guy. Be sensible, I will let you commentate next time. Wait for the World King Tournament. You, the commentator who can write poetry, must not run away. Zumu smiled and waved to the camera, and then devoted all his attention to the game. Crazy or noisy, don't joke about the game. Although the contestants in this session are all top trainers, except Zumu who is a newcomer, but, don't forget, there are more than one Dogecoin like Ko. Maybe some of the current players are staring at Zumu in the corner, hoping that Zumu will be in the limelight and become popular. Then when they compete with Zumu, they will make a big splash and completely defeat Zumu. The blue player, Runcheng Tianzu. Player Tianzu is an old friend of our Tanwang Challenge. 2 years ago, Tianzu lost with a 4th place. This year, he is making a comeback. Let's wait and see whether he can soar to the sky and become a Tanwang strongman. The commentator used hints to inform Zumu of some information about his opponent. Although this kind of information is generally easy to find, the commentator estimated that Zumu, a seeded player, would most likely not choose to check the opponent's information in advance. Sure enough, Zumu really didn't check 4th place last year, so I'm afraid his strength is now above the Tanwang. Zumu didn't expect that the first opponent he met in the main game was an old Dogecoin. Red team, Zumu. Blue team, Tianzu. Both players can use 6 Pokémons, and they can freely exchange Pokémons during the game. Now, the game begins. Both players, please release Pokémons. With the lessons learned from Zumu's previous game, The referee of this game is an old referee from the Referee Alliance. He has judged thousands of games in his life, and he is definitely experienced. Let the Referee Alliance fully believe that this referee will never do such a thing as putting away the referee's certificate and taking a photo with the player's Pokémons. Go. Electabuzz. Jianzhu's first Pokémon is Electabuzz. This is his common Vanguard. Although Electabuzz doesn't have any skills to spread nails, but as a team Vanguard, Electabuzz can rely on its powerful attack power and strong physical strength to give unexpected damage to the opponent's Vanguard. It is an iconic Vanguard for a tough man. There are no so many twists and turns, just do it. Zumu's side also has no fixed lineup. He has just become a trainer for less than a year, and everything about capturing Pokémons is up to fate. With his own command and the strength of the elves, Zumu is almost not afraid of any team, so there is no need for fixed lineups like the Sandstorm team and the Sunny team. Moreover, it seems that the order of the elves in battle is not something he can decide. Bang! The elf ball automatically pops open. The King of Leave makes a strong appearance. Whoa! I am the Admiral King of Leave. The enemy generals, surrender quickly. Zumu. Chapter 174. The King of Leave who doesn't deceive people. Are you going to fight normally today? Seeing that the King of Leave was full of energy and seemed to be ready to fight his opponent, Zumu asked hurriedly. To be honest, Zumu still hoped that the King of Leave would fight well. Although it was fun for him to fool his opponent, Zumu, as a trainer, was very dangerous. I am a trainer, not a decoration. If you fool me like this, I can't help you, and I have no sense of existence. Whoa! Fight. No fooling this time. The King of Leave hasn't fought for a long time. After all, he has been training for so long, and he is the first to fight in the main competition this time. Naturally, he wants to fight to his heart's content. You want to push the team? Seeing that the King of Leave was rarely serious, Zumu was a little confused. I'm afraid this guy is going to fight 6 alone? Whoa! Fight until exhaustion. Sure enough, Zumu guessed correctly. Greninja's tactics are simpler. That is to be strong. Just rush. A King of Leave can push the team directly. If it can't, fight until exhaustion, and then continue with the next one. Okay, I got it. A good trainer must learn to listen to the command of the Pokémon. Zumu is obviously very good. Electric Beast. Use electromagnetic waves. He looks like a macho man, but in fact he has many dirty tricks. This is the Pokémon like Electric Beast. Since childhood, he has been thin and weak, so Pokémon like Electric Beast have a meow-like personality. That is a thief. This also leads to the fact that after evolution, Electric Beast or Electric Beast often use some skills that make trainers incredible. For example, electromagnetic waves, applause. These transformation skills that are only needed for cute Pokémon. Electric Beast can do all of them. Not only can they do them, but also master them. Jianzhu obviously knows this quality of Electric Beast, so when commanding, he chooses flexible and changeable tactics to cooperate with Electric Beast. Zumu nodded secretly. This opponent is not bad. King of Leave. Provocation. Transformation skills. Haha, I, Zumu, am an expert. Compared with a certain Eevee who has practiced Sand Float to the extreme, Zumu prefers to let the Pokémon master comprehensive skills. Although not as strong as that Sand Float, comprehensiveness is the best tactical partner. The electric shock monster was about to use electromagnetic waves, and an electric current appeared in his hands, but before he could swing it, he was provoked by the King of Leave. The effect of provocation is that the opponent cannot use the transformation skills temporarily, and can only fight head-on. Electromagnetic waves are 100% paralyzed, which is a standard transformation skill. Electric shock monster. Tile split. Without choosing the Thunder Fist, the moment Zumu shouted the provocation, Jianzhu thought about what to do next. He directly asked the electric shock monster to change his moves and use the fighting skill Tile Split. King of Leave. Don't be afraid, use the Claw of Collapse to meet the enemy. The strength of this electric shock monster is on par with the King of Leave. But this is just the realm. From the perspective of racial value, that is, talent, the physical attack of the King of Leave is higher than that of the electric shock monster. In addition, this guy's characteristic is a strong man. and the power of physical attack is doubled. Using the Claw of Collapse, a normal skill of the original system, the power will be increased by another 0.5 times. Zumu also brought a delicate silk scarf to the King of Leave, which can increase the power of normal skills by 0.3 times. After such a whole set of calculations, the King of Leave does not need to be afraid of the electric beast. It is obvious that Yanzu made a mistake to choose the first confrontation in the field where the King of Leave is best. In fact, from the beginning of this battle, Yanzu should not have used electromagnetic waves first, because when the electric beast uses this skill, it needs to keep its eyes on the King of Leave to aim, and this is also the reason why the King of Leave's provocation is 100% hit. It can only be said that one wrong step will lead to a complete loss. When the King of Leave's collapse claw collided with the electric beast's tiles, Yanzu's face gradually became heavy. The electric beast was directly knocked several meters away by the King of Leave and fell heavily to the ground from the air. However, he did not give up, but shouted, "Electric beast, stand up and use the charging beam." The charging beam can attack and strengthen its special attack. Obviously, after experiencing the failure of the first attempt, Yanzu will never let the electric beast and the King of Leave go head-on, but will focus on long-range consumption. Moreover, the reason why he chose to use tiles when he knew that the attack of the electric beast was not as good as that of the King of Leave was because he had calculated the characteristics of the King of Leave. Laziness. After attacking for a round, you must rest for a round. This characteristic is the biggest drawback of the King of Leave, and it is also the reason why countless trainers who like this big guy comparable to the beast have to give up training. Laziness is too hard to bear. King of Leave, use Earthquake. How could Zumu not know what Tianzu was thinking? His King of Leave has never fought publicly in the outside world, so few people know his characteristics. Seeing that the King of Leave used Earthquake without explanation, he would rather be attacked by the charging beam than kill the electric beast with one blow. Yanzu was dumbfounded. Impossible. Doesn't the King of Leave need to rest for a round before attacking? Unable to believe the scene in front of him, Yanzu shouted wildly. However, Zumu just sneered. Who told you that all Kings of Leave are lazy? It's like no one has ever said that all Pikakas are Pikakas. There is always an exception. In fact, when the King of Leave used provocation and directly used the Claw of Collapse, Yanzu should have realized that Zumu's King of Leave's characteristic was not laziness, but he was careless. Provocation is a variable skill after all, and he has never fought against the King of Leave, so he naturally thought that variable skills are not counted in the calculation of laziness. This is an empiricist mistake. Damn it. Yanzu took back the electric shock monster that had lost its combat ability and cursed unwillingly. This Zumu is really a monster, and the King of Leave is not a lazy characteristic. It's really not fun. I'll leave it to you next. Turban Thug. Turban Thug, evil and fighting type. The unreliable personality often makes trainers unbearable. Often because of the heat of the head, he does incredible things. Seeing Yanzu using the Turban Thug, it is obvious that he wants to use the fighting skills to target the King of Leave. Zumu laughed again. You are still wrong. To fight with the King of Leave in close combat is to seek death. King of Leave, don't be polite. Just charge. Billion-ton impact. No more nonsense. Just do it. After Zumu sighed, he ordered the King of Leave to continue fighting. However, after hearing what Zumu said, Tianzu took out the Pokeball without saying a word. Come back, Turban Thug. With a loud roar, under Zumu's astonished gaze, Yanzu shamelessly took back the Turban Thug and chose to change the Pokemon to fight. Please, Death Coffin, if you can't beat him, just change. Yanzu decided to be shameless, for the sake of victory. Face is nothing. Chapter 175. This is the battle to exhaustion. Leave King, should we switch as well? The Leave King was indeed at a disadvantage in the battle against the Ghost-type elves. Zumu saw that Yanzu was shameless and asked the Leave King immediately, no, I will fight until I am exhausted. Well, no wonder you and Dragonite are so good at playing. You two are really smarter than anyone else when you are smart, and you are both desperate when you are reckless. This is a good friend. With a smile, Zumu set his sights on his opponent. Leave King, the battle has begun. Be strong first. Jianzhu was happy to see that Zhu Yu did not launch an attack immediately. He thought he really found the weakness of the Leaf King. This guy did not have a very effective means to deal with the ghost-type elves. Death Coffin, Curse. The effect of the curse is simple, and different attribute elves have different effects when used. But if the ghost-type elves use it, it will consume half of their own physical value and make the opponent lose a quarter of their physical value every round. Obviously, facing the giant of the Leaf King, direct attack is not the best way. It is in line with common sense to use a skill like Curse. Zhu Yu did not ask the King of Leaf to stop using bodybuilding, and calmly accepted the curse. Continue. Bodybuilding. Seeing that the King of Leaf continued to bodybuilding, Jianzhu was a little confused. What was Zhu Yu trying to do? Death Coffin. Will-o'-the-wisp. Will-o'-the-wisp. Directly burn your King of Leaf, and then reduce a certain amount of physical attack each round. I wonder how you can fight. The Death Coffin was also very obedient. After Jianzhu gave the order, he took action directly, regardless of the fact that he had just lost a lot of physical strength, and directly used Will-o'-the-wisp. Continue. Bodybuilding. Zhu Yu did not even look at the Death Coffin, and ordered the King of Leaf to continue using bodybuilding. If it were an ordinary Pokémon and trainer, I'm afraid they would have had a conflict over this. Letting the Pokémon be beaten without fighting back is the last thing to test the intimacy between the trainer and the Pokémon. Zhu Yu's King of Leaf is a product of the system, so needless to say, the intimacy is naturally full. In addition, Zhu Yu's own trainer strength has long been recognized by the King of Leaf. In life, he can play around with Zhu Yu, but once he is on the battlefield, he must obey Zhu Yu's command. Don't say that he passively takes a beating without fighting back. Ask Dragonite if Zhu Yu's homemade skill Chidori hurts. It hurts. It hurts a lot. But didn't Dragonite say it couldn't be done? This is the relationship that trainers and elves should determine when fighting. That is, there is only one brain. When Zhu Yu speaks, the King of Leaves must shut up. What are you doing? Seeing Zhu Yu continue to strengthen, even if the King of Leaves suffers from the double negative states of curse and burn, Zhu Yu is not panicked at all. Jianzhu suddenly thought of it. He is going to use sleep. Use sleep to restore all negative states and physical strength, and then use the sense of smell to let the King of Leaves, whose attack power is increased to the extreme, kill my Death Coffin in seconds. Jianzhu reacted. Zhu Yu's idea is definitely this. Death Coffin. Use noise. Don't let the King of Leaves enter the sleep state. Most elves can learn the skill of noise, but they cannot exert its full ability. Except for a few Pokémons that use sound waves, such as Eevee and Noise King, they can make noise aggressive. For other Pokémons, using noise is not very meaningful. Okay, it's interesting. Zhu Yu smiled when he saw that the Death God Coffin used noise, which was not very harmful but very insulting. This Jianzhu is indeed a very good trainer, and his ability is not even inferior to Teacher Yang. Unfortunately, arrogance is his biggest mistake. King of Leaf. Continue. Bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is used for the fourth time. The current King of Leaf is suffering from the damage of the curse, the torture of burns, and the mental attack of the Death God Coffin's noise. In this case, he said nothing and just showed his muscles with his head down. At this moment, the audience watching the live broadcast and the audience on the scene, their hearts were all pulled up. This King of Leaf is so strange. He has so many negative states on his body, but he still has to show his muscles to strengthen himself. What's going on? What is Zhu Yu calculating? The passionate commentary of the commentator has put a layer of mystery on Zhu Yu's extremely weird operation. Everyone is waiting to see what will happen after Zhu Yu completes the 6th enhancement. Is it like what Jianzhu expected, sleep recovery, plus smell counterattack, or does Zhu Yu have other plans? This kid, you are really something. Dare to use such a risky tactic? Once the opponent sees through it, it's over. What's in his head? Is it all water? This idiot, has he ever looked at his opponent straight in the eye? Ah, this Jianzhu is also an idiot. He didn't see such an obvious flaw. What's going on? Are all of the participants in the King of Kings challenge now pigs? Kyle was in his room, swearing loudly to vent his excitement. Zhu Yu was too cruel. Such a risky tactic was actually taken to the King of Kings challenge. The key is that Jianzhu, the idiot, didn't understand it. He used noise in a self-righteous way. trying to prevent the King of Leaf from sleeping. Alas, with a long sigh, Kyle was speechless. In this kind of competition, even a pig with a head tied to it can win the championship. The players are all idiots. Back on the field, the King of Leaf was obviously exhausted. Every time he showed off his muscles, he tried his best and endured huge damage. Yanzu shouted excitedly, as long as he could survive this round, he would win. This King of Leaf, who was not lazy, was finally going to be defeated. Just when Tianzu was extremely excited, Zumyu spoke. What you think is always what you think. The elf battle is not a place for you to be clever. Do you know why you can't get to the king? Because you are too ugly, Zumyu said, and the smile on his face that his plan had succeeded became increasingly obvious. As soon as he finished speaking, the King of Leaf had completed his 6th bodybuilding. Enduring the severe pain, the King of Leaf also showed the same smile as Zumyu. Let's start, Zumyu. Okay. Zumyu looked at the King of Leaf and shouted, King of Leaf, now, use the baton. Baton. Yanzu was stunned at the time. The audience was also stunned. This low-level skill that even elementary school students don't use was actually brought to the scene of the King of Kings challenge by Zumyu. The key is that Zumyu hid it from everyone, including Yanzu. Everyone thought he was going to use sleep to recover his physical strength, but no one thought that he and the King of Leaf had made plans from the beginning. Fight until exhaustion. The baton is replaced. Dragonite appears. The super god moment is coming. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.